Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the Get Up and Go Show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
It is 6:07 TGIF. It is Friday.
Good morning, Americans. It's Friday.
That's right. You don't have to remind me what day of the week it is, Paul Harvey. I know it's Friday.
You my baby's daddy.
Oh, really? I am?
Well, yeehaw!
I hope I'm not your baby's daddy. And a happy Friday to you and yours from all of us here at the Get Up and Go Show. It's the Friday edition, and Fredo and the Shy Guys playing on like they usually do in the other room. That's our Get Up and Go Show band. We are the only morning show that has a live band in studio for your pleasure. Good morning, Miss Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan.
And how are yours this morning?
Mine is doing on the chilly note.
Oh.
You know, this is one of those mornings where I had to go and heat up the vehicle before I started to drive. I even turned on a little bit of heat in it before I got in.
Oh.
So warmed up for a nice 5 or 10 minutes at my house this morning.
Oh, okay.
And 3 layers, wearing 3 layers of clothing. That's how frosty it feels.
Oh, really?
It feels like the frostiest little seaside town in the world.
So you were a little cold this morning.
Oh, you know it.
Wow. So that means you probably said this.
But I like it on the hot side in the shower.
Well, there you go.
Oh, you know it.
Right. Definitely so, to warm yourself up.
Even had heat on in the house this morning.
So
overnight.
did we. We had the heat on too. We had it set on 76 degrees.
Yeah. So didn't it feel so much better when you woke up at 3 this morning, Evan?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
even need that hot shower with the heat.
No, definitely not. I got up this morning. I said, Alexa, what's temperature out? Oh, I did it again. I said, Alexa, and I set off everybody's Alexa that's listening to the radio
All
right
of
now.
the Alexas are hearing you.
All the Alexas are hearing me right now. So let's try this. Alexa, what's the temperature outside? Okay, and then of course everybody's Alexa. They do what they do.
Tomorrow morning it's going to be frosty too. There's only a high of 67 tomorrow with a high of 73 today.
Really? So this is what happens when you say Alexa. Alexa, what's the temperature outside?
Right now, it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, expect a high of 73 degrees.
Wow.
There you go.
Yep.
There's Alexa.
And I want
She
to
answered me.
and I want to hit some outdoor flea markets tomorrow.
Do you
I don't know
really?
if I should go to, I like that one in little downtown Fort Pierce down by 2nd Street.
Oh yeah, by the 2nd Street Bistro. Okay.
You bet.
Mhm.
And
Get some lunch down there too while you're there.
and you can get a cocktail at the bistro
Ah, yes.
when you're done flea marketing.
Nothing like having a adult beverage and doing a little flea market shopping.
Yeah.
Because
you're
then
so
after your
happy.
adult beverage, you'll be happy and you have no idea what you're buying.
And then maybe the B&A flea market sounds good. That always sounds good right here in Stewart. Is a good. I like their produce.
Okay.
And I might want to check out. There's one in Okeechobee called the Trading Post Flea Market too.
Oh, okay.
Highway 441. It looks like there's a couple of flea markets out there within the vicinity of just 6 or so miles.
Yeah, that's
of
a whole
each
nother
other.
world out in Okeechobee. You ever been out there?
I've been there, but
Okay.
not in a while. I think the last time was probably when I was trying to find the casino out that way.
Oh,
and
did you get lost?
yeah, we didn't have GPS at the time, so I didn't find it, and we were and we were traveling at night.
Yeah, you wound up in what's called BFE. We all know what that is.
And it was not the best time to be driving to it either. It was one New Year's Eve. I had this crazy idea of going to the casino and
Wait a
spending
minute.
New Year's there.
What were you thinking?
I don't know.
So you wound up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we were just driving and driving. We were just
You and Gary, I hope,
driving
right?
so far west. No, this was
Oh,
with another friend of mine. It
Another
was
friend. Okay.
such a long time ago. And
Okay.
we kept driving west out into the country. I thought we were going to wind up in Fort Myers.
Did you wind up in the Everglades or what? Jeez.
Yeah, it was dark, and then I thought maybe
That's even worse. You're driving in the dark and you don't know where to go.
we had to turn around. Plus, they have that 2-lane highway going
Oh, that's
to
the worst.
Okeechobee, and
That's
it's
the worst.
quite dangerous.
Did you make it back okay at least?
Yes. Oh, thank goodness.
How did you know which way to go if you didn't have GPS?
I
Did you
don't
look
know.
up at the sky and find the North Star?
Well, I had been taken to the casino there, Evan, on the party bus before.
Well, that's why they call it a party bus, because you're having adult beverages and you have no idea where you're going.
But that was
Oh, there goes layer number 1 of clothing. There you
it's getting
go.
warm in here.
Okay.
The heat is on. But
Yeah.
yeah, we went there for when we worked at the music radio station with a bunch of listeners on a party bus.
Okay.
So I thought I knew how to make my way out there and make the drive. And then when I drove, I never found it.
Wow.
I think the next time I'll just have another party bus or Uber or someone take me there.
Hire somebody to drive you, like my driving company. I can take you.
Exactly.
You could sit in the back and just kind of ride in style and have an adult beverage in the back.
Wow.
I'll have Bentley wait on you in the back and he'll mix your cocktail and you're all good to go.
What would you charge for, like me and a friend, to hire your service?
I don't know.
you
We'd
can't
have to.
give that on the radio.
No, I don't want to say.
You got it.
I don't want to say.
that's-
It'd be under $200.
Sounds
That's
like
one
a
way.
good idea.
That's one way.
Oh, one way.
That's one way. You want to come back, and then we got to talk about a round trip, just like going on a plane.
There
One
goes
way around
all
trip.
my bingo money.
Yeah. Do you want accommodations? You have to tell me if you need accommodations or not, because we can put the seats down, slap a mattress back there, and your accommodations are right there.
Wow.
Spend the night in the back of the truck.
That's styling.
That's it. And we'll even include a hot shower. We have a hose that hooks up to a water tank underneath the truck, and you can take a shower right outside the truck. There
Hey,
you go.
You shouldn't knock that. We did that one time when
No.
we went to Fantasy Fest.
I've
down
got
in
one
the
better
Keys.
yet. I've got one better yet for you. We could also hook a toilet up to the trailer hitch. Got a bathroom right there to go.
All right.
That's right. You got a porcelain throne to sit on.
Well, you got a whole big lake out there too, I guess, if you got to go. Oh no, I wouldn't do that. That's bad. That's
Oh,
not
just find a
nice.
fire hydrant. That's all.
I'd like to camp out on Lake O. That would be fun. I see people fishing out there.
Yeah.
Like, the fishing has to be phenomenal,
Yep,
right?
it is. It is.
I wish.
A lot of people go out there in their bass boats.
I know. When my brother was here, I did take him on the Lady Stewart, which was a great experience. But only the weather was inclement at the time. It wasn't the perfect. It was very stormy when he visited me here, so it was too stormy to even go out fishing a second time.
Oh, okay.
But I wish he could come down so we could go on Lake Okeechobee and fish too.
Okay. Now, what are your plans for the weekend besides trying to go find a flea market to go to, especially in Okeechobee?
Yeah. Just wondering if I should find a friend to go with me or if I should venture it on my own. Yeah. I mean, I might call my friend Jody and see if she wants to travel.
Well, if you can't find any friends, you could always go somewhere and find a mannequin and stick a mannequin in your front seat, and there's your companion.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about ever having a conversation with the mannequin because it'd be a one-sided conversation. If you have anything you want to vent about, or if you're upset at Gary for anything, you could just vent to the mannequin, and the mannequin will just sit there and listen to you.
Well, I would save that mannequin if ever I had to drive through Atlanta. And, so I could be in the fast lane.
I've seen people do that down in Miami.
Have you?
I have. I kid you not. I have driven down to Miami before, and I have seen people in the carpool lane with like a mannequin in the passenger seat. It's the funniest thing in the world. You're just cruising along, and there's just like a body in there, and it's a mannequin. Well, I mean, what do they think? The police are stupid?
Right.
Telling you, I've seen
funny.
it all.
So
I've seen one person that had a mannequin head propped up on a broomstick in the passenger seat. Oh my gosh.
Does it work like if you have a dog, like a dog with you too in the passenger seat?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I have to show you this video since we're talking about mannequins. My son sends me a video yesterday. Now, mind you, okay, this is a long time ago. All right. And he reenacted this video again. Remember I told you the story about how Dylan gimmicked the window and he snuck out and he put a mannequin head in the bed?
Yes.
Okay. So
that's classic.
He redid the video, okay, as if he was young again. He just did this recently and he was at the house. So here.
I got a text message from my friends. They wanted to hang out, but 16-year-old me had to figure out how to get out of the house. So I put a mannequin head on the pillow, learned how to disarm the alarm, opened the window, and I was free. We were having such a good time, laughing, joking. Great time. But then they got me. They called my parents. My dad walked in my room and said, "What do you mean, officer? He's right here." Only to find out it was a mannequin head. He was puzzled. To this day, we laugh about this story. I must say, it's one of the greatest feats I've ever pulled off.
That's great.
Right? But he's just so creative.
That should go viral. That's cool.
Right? He made that video, and I was like, man, that's like really creative. He sent it to me at like 9:30 last night.
I saw you and Rachel in the video too.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was the whole premise. It
Yes.
was, and then when he walked in with the do-rag on his head, he was pretending to be me walking into the bedroom.
Oh, right.
Right, talking to the officer saying, "But he's right here, officer."
How did he get that mannequin head to look so much like his own head?
Well,
And
here's the
curly
thing.
black hair.
Here's the thing. He had the mannequin head facing the other way, and he had the body pillow at the base of it, so it looked like there was somebody in the bed. So with his back to the door, that was his hair. That's the way his hair was. So it was perfect.
Yeah, it's good to know he could do a prison break if he had to.
Oh, please don't say that.
No,
Okay.
I'm not okay.
Good
We don't-
God.
I know
No,
we-
we don't want to do that. No, I don't want to ever see him in prison.
I've been watching too much. I almost got away with it.
Yeah.
I almost was going to say I almost got away from it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'm getting away from.
No.
I almost got away with it.
Definitely not. But yeah, that was one of the most memorable experiences is Dylan sneaking out in the middle of the night.
That
oh my gosh.
Is quite creative.
It was. It
Yeah.
definitely was. And then there was another time when we used to live down in Green Acres. The kids all snuck out the upstairs window and we had this like overhang that's over the front door, and it was a 2-story, and
Oh.
I never knew it. So they snuck out the window, jumped down to the overhang of the roof over the front door and then
Yikes.
jumped down to the ground.
Uh-huh.
But the problem was they weren't thinking right. They snuck out okay, but how the hell are they going to get back up into the second floor window?
Sure.
They didn't have a ladder to get back up on that overhang.
Or at least a rope that they could climb back up.
So in their infinite wisdom, one lifts up the other one, okay,
Yeah.
with their hand, and then the other one lifts up the other one, and then the third one is left down on the ground.
Wow.
So they had to go down and open the door, and the door chime went off, which woke us up, and we caught them.
Caught
great.
red-handed.
It just got caught red-handed.
So, Evan, you grew up in the Brooklyn area, right?
No, I grew up in Queens as a child.
Queens. So were you one
Yes.
of those roof hoppers when you were a
No.
kid?
No.
No?
I
You
played stickball when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
I played
That was a
stickball.
popular thing
That
in
was
Queens.
a very, very popular thing. We would go outside with a little pinky ball and a stick, basically, that was like a broom handle, and it acted like a bat. And you play stickball. That's
Oh.
what we played. Stickball and wiffle ball was popular back in the
Yeah,
day.
wiffle ball was croquet.
Yeah.
Wa-
Croquet.
Was your dad the king of Queens?
No, he wasn't. No, definitely not the king of Queens. He was the king of beer companies because he was the president of Ballantine and Wrangell beer back in the day, which was the two most popular beers, especially for the New York Mets back in the 60s.
Well, that meant everything to everyone then.
So, yep. And then when my
Yeah.
dad retired from the beer company, they gave him a brand new 1969 Cadillac Sedan DeVille.
Whoa.
It was green, 4-door. They gave him the keys to that car. They were gold keys, and they gave him the vehicle as a parting gift.
Did he pass that one down to you?
No, what are you
No?
kidding? I was only 10 years old back in the day.
Did he restore it or anything?
No, he
or-
kept it. He
yeah.
kept it. We drove it to Florida, and he kept it for about 4 years. And like when I was 13 or 14, he actually let me drive it down a back road, which
Mhm.
was pretty cool. And then we sold it, and then we got something else. So
Right on.
anyway, that's my story in a nutshell. 6:21 news time. Let's go to the news desk, and here's Bonnie.
Thanks, Evan. About 250,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were distributed to Florida counties statewide this week. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the story.
COVID-19 vaccines remain on high demand in the community and between county health departments, all vying for some of the 250,000 doses distributed this week by the state.
I know it's hard right now. Everybody wants to get this as fast as possible. We're doing everything we can.
Representative Toby Overdorf says a few counties this week didn't get any COVID-19 vaccines, including Martin County, leaving some county leaders wondering why.
The county administrator reached out to me over the weekend to let me know that Martin County was going to have a zero allocation. And of course, they were concerned.
Overdorf said the first round of distribution focused on population, the second on how efficiently counties were distributing the vaccine, adding to the confusion.
Martin County did a great job, and they were able to get vaccines out very quickly.
Not wanting to lose momentum, Overdorf said it took reaching out and working with the State Department of Emergency Management to secure at least a small amount of new doses.
We were able to secure an additional at least 500 this time around, and we've been assured that we are going to be getting more doses as this proceeds forward.
The Martin County Health Department was also surprised to be left out this week, but said in a statement, ultimately, we are pleased to be receiving vaccine this week and are prepared to quickly distribute it, and are grateful for the support of our lawmakers and community partners. Megan McRoberts, WPTV, News Channel 5.
Florida's reporting more big numbers related to the coronavirus, more than 13,700 new cases and an additional 217 deaths. The annual Stewart Boat Show is set to begin today and run throughout the weekend. WPTV's Derek Lowe has more.
At this marina, under the Roosevelt Bridge,
And we've been working on it for a couple weeks now.
crewmen and women
Want it in mint condition.
We're just making sure everything looks really nice.
Getting her all fixed up.
are cleaning and getting ready for the Stewart Boat Show, and precautions for COVID are in
They
place.
kind of set a pseudo appointment, if you will, when to come down here, so that we don't end up with 100 people standing here waiting to see the boat.
Cody Holcomb is the captain of the Runaway, a boat he's looking to sell.
We can keep people spread out and keep people just calmly coming through.
Only one family is allowed on each vessel at a time. Organizers say they're skeptical of a reduced crowd.
Over the 3 days, we had anywhere from 18,000 to 20,000 people. With COVID this year, we're really not sure.
Michelle Miller says masks will be required when not social distancing. Hand sanitizer stations will be at every booth.
We have no seminars this year. We had to eliminate our seminars from the plan because we didn't want to put people in small tents.
Miller says despite new differences, she's grateful the show can go on.
Because our show is predominantly outdoors, we're able to go ahead and continue almost, as a regular show.
We need some positivity in the world. And I think nothing better than get everybody outside, hanging out around the marine industry.
In Stuart, I'm Derek Lowe.
President Trump's move to Palm Beach County is now less than a week away. Here's WPTV's Matt Chesney with details.
And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw took the oath for a fifth time as sheriff after a convincing and unchallenged election. And no sooner is he back in charge, but he's now prepping for President Trump's arrival as a private citizen.
And I don't have this in writing yet. My guess is he's either going to be here late the 19th or early on the 20th.
When President Trump does arrive, Sheriff Bradshaw says protection will be at presidential levels as it has been for 4 years here, at least until he is no longer president.
As noontime on the 20th hits and he's no longer the president, you're going to see a significant reduction, but not totally. That's why I say the footprint will be a little bit bigger than normal.
The post-presidency of Donald Trump in Palm Beach County will also be different from other former presidents.
It's in my lifetime or my career, I've certainly not seen anything like it.
Tim Miller is a former Secret Service agent who has protected presidents and now heads a security firm in West Palm Beach. And he says federal protection will also not go away and will be very visible.
What that means for the Secret Service is they're going to have to be game on. Remember that security, for the Secret Service is not about responding to a crisis. It's about not making that crisis happen.
In West Palm Beach, Matt Cesney, WPTV, News Channel 5.
And lastly, researchers in Indonesia found the oldest work of art ever discovered. It's a picture of a warthog drawn on a cave wall over 45,000 years ago. And that's pretty cool. There will be no mystery leading up to kickoff regarding who will start at quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams in an NFC divisional round playoff game against the Green Bay Packers on Saturday. Quarterback John Wolford has been ruled out because of a neck injury, so Jared Goff will start. Coach Sean McVay said this on Thursday. Blake Bortles will serve as the backup quarterback. News time is 6:26. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
$6:27 right now, the time in the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, we're not finding any accidents on a Friday morning, so things are looking fine out on our roadways for Stuart and the Fort Pierce, the Port St. Lucie area. Beautiful. There's your latest look at traffic. And right now we have a chilly bones 46 in Port St. Lucie, and Canterbury in the UK, it's 39 and cloudy. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Happy Friday, sunshines. Waking up this morning to temperatures in the low 40s, partly cloudy skies, and a few spotty showers for that morning drive. This afternoon, highs in the low 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight, cloudy conditions and some isolated showers into the night. Temperatures down in the low 50s. Some morning showers possible tomorrow with lots of sunshine during the day. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. Sunday morning starting off the day in the low 40s, highs in the mid 60s, mainly dry conditions through the weekend.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Everyone wants to know, how safe is air travel these days? Well, at Breezeway Air, we've taken the lead with air safety. After you've presented your negative COVID test, climb aboard with your flight-provided space helmet. Trust us, you're going to need it when you attach the oxygen hose. You'll notice the front and rear cabin doors are open. This allows virus-free airflow while you board. You'll also notice the doors remain off the entire flight. That keeps you safe from the airborne virus. Don't worry, you're still breathing thanks to your pressurized helmet. And the best part, if anyone tries to annoy others with politics, we automatically unlock their seatbelt and they get sucked out. So strap in for your next flight. It'll be a breeze with Breezeway Air.
I don't know if I want to go on Breezeway Air or not, Bonnie. That doesn't sound too invigorating, does it?
It doesn't. It's making me a little ill before I get on the flight.
A little queasy, possibly, right?
Yes, more queasy than me even flying
Just
it.
a tad bit queasy. Let's do some viral videos. Well, I only have one this morning, and it's kind of like a throwback video going back to 1973. And it has to do with Libby's and fruit floats. It's a syrupy liquid in a can that you pour into a bowl, and you add some milk, and you stir it up, and it comes out in 5 delicious flavors.
What year was that?
It's 1973.
I don't think I remember a product like that.
Okay, here, listen.
Okay.
What would you like for dessert? Ice cream. Pudding. Yeah, pudding.
Fresh fruit?
Yes, strawberry. Glad you all agree.
Introducing the one for all. Hey, Fruit Float. A dessert that's totally new and totally different.
Hey, strawberry.
That looks good. All you do is add cold milk. Stir,
How long does it take?
and in less than 30 seconds, it turns into a light, smooth, refreshing dessert.
Looks good.
It
Fruit
looks
Float
good.
is made with real strawberries. Real strawberries. There's so many good things in Fruit Float, you can serve it often. One can makes 4 generous helpings. That's good.
Dad, I bet you can't say fruit float 3 times.
Fruit Float, Fruit Float, Fruit Float.
You lose.
New Fruit Float from Libby's, the one dessert for all. Libby's new Fruit Float. Strawberry, raspberry, peach, pineapple, and mandarin orange, all with real fruit. Fruit Float, Fruit Float, Fruit Float.
Now, I actually remember that from back in the day. My parents used to buy that.
Yeah, so you've tried it before.
I have tried that before.
Was it as good as it looks in the commercial? Because that doesn't look bad. It looks good and creamy.
It looks good and creamy, but here's the other situation. I went online and I researched this, and I went on eBay and I put in Libby's Fruit Float, and 3 people had cans of this for sale. Now, on they were selling the cans for like $50. Okay, $50.
So these are vintage cans.
They're
They're
vintage cans.
antiques. They're worth some money.
They're
then.
unopened.
Uh-huh.
But there is a warning that says expired can. Now, from 73, that's 83, 93, 03, 13. That's 47. That's 48 years ago.
You better be careful. Yeah, you can't really drink it because it looks like it could be like a dairy product.
Could you imagine?
Wasn't refrigerated.
Could you imagine opening that from 48 years ago?
Yeah.
And the stench would be ridiculous.
Well, you never know. You might want to try it. It might surprise you, Evan. Maybe it's well preserved.
That would be something for Phil to do.
You know,
I would
right.
buy. I would buy that and have Phil do a taste test.
Yeah.
On that from 48 years ago. But if Phil got violently sick, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself.
No, because he's your very good friend.
He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
But that's from that can is like on eBay for like $40, $50 something.
You think Phil would do it?
Knowing Phil,
We should
yeah,
call him.
he would.
Call him now and see if he would do it for us.
I know he would.
I mean, I don't want him to get sick or
No.
anything.
But I know he would.
Yeah.
I definitely know he would. Let's do the nearly impossible question this morning. All right, here we go. Today's nearly impossible question. Moscow is the home to the busiest of what in the world? What is it? What do you think it is, Bonnie?
I think it's
Moscow home to the busiest what in the world?
McDonald's. McDonald's.
Okay, I'm not going to say whether you're right or wrong.
Okay.
But we'll give the answer at the end of the program. If you think you know the answer, give us a call. If you get it right, we'll tell you. 220-9788. 220-WSTU. Moscow is home to the busiest of what in the world?
I think if I were there, I'd probably be sitting inside McDonald's having a warm cup of coffee. It's probably pretty cold right now in Moscow.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Wonder if I could call a Moscow, fast food place over there or something. I wonder if they'd answer and if they'd speak English.
Didn't we try that before? And
We
you got
tried
all-
that once before, and we called France.
Yeah.
And nobody spoke English.
Mm-hmm.
So that just was like a complete fail.
Actually, we should maybe go home and learn some French. So maybe we can.
Parlez-vous français? That's all I know.
Uh,
Parlez-vous français? You know what that means?
do you speak French?
Yes.
French.
Yeah. Do you speak French?
Yeah.
That's about it.
I learned some of that. I think I learned L, like I'm a L, which means a girl.
Oh,
and
okay.
Girl and boy in French.
Okay.
I 10th grade French class. I learned a couple of words.
Okay.
Not oui. I learned.
Oui,
That's-
oui, monsieur.
Yeah,
Oui, bon chéri.
that's pretty good, Evan.
Right? That's not bad. Now, there's another saying I'd say, but
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it translates to, but I know that it's from a song that was sung by a group called LaBelle. And all I'm going to say is it went voulez-vous. Don't say the rest of it, but I know you know it.
Oh, I know that song.
Yeah,
that was a good song.
Yeah, it was a
back in
good
the
song, but
day.
I'm not going to say the rest of the sentence because then somebody's going to take it the wrong way and they're going to get offended.
That was one of those songs though that it got everybody dancing and
Mhm.
in a good mood.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Bonnie, did you know that researchers at Wake Forest University say that drinking beet juice makes you smarter because it has high levels of oxygen enhancing nitrates?
Yeah,
Beet juice.
I hear them advertising
Yeah.
beats on these talk radio shows.
Now, I'm not talking about the Beats that I'm wearing on my ears right now. These are Beats headphones.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about beet juice. Now, that's something that Phil can try on his taste test.
I would
is
try it too.
Beet, you would try beet juice?
Absolutely. It's
Ugh,
it's very good for
disgusting.
you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have Phil next time he's in here bring in beet juice.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all are going to drink an 8-ounce cup right on the air.
And he'll dress up as Beetlejuice.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That would just go over real well.
You ever have a beet just baked in the oven?
No, I
It's
just
so
can't fathom
good.
that. Beets and
No.
borscht.
You get a beet from your local produce section, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like a real garden beet.
Right.
And then you bake it for about 45 minutes to an hour. Put some
disgusting.
butter and salt on it.
Ugh.
It's so good with a
Ugh.
meal and good for you. Mm.
Oh, you're turning my stomach this
Have you ever had borscht soup?
No.
Borscht?
Oh God, it's nasty.
I had it.
I've seen it. It looks
yeah.
gross.
We had it for Christmas one year when I visited some friends in Chicago, Illinois,
hmm
and we had
I've
a
seen people
borscht
pour it
one
on sour
Christmas.
cream before.
Yeah, I think I've seen that
That's
before
disgusting.
too. No, that's all right.
Oh man.
But I don't care for
Ugh.
like the beets right out of a can.
Okay.
That's kind of like the pickled beets right out of a can.
Did you know that 32% of men use hairspray because they believe it improves their appearance,
Mhm.
Bonnie?
How many percent?
32%.
My own guy uses hairspray.
Gary uses hairspray?
Yeah, he runs out of it fast too, and I have
Does
to
he?
buy it for him once in a while.
I used to
Did you?
when I had hair. When I had hair.
Yeah.
When my hair used to be long because it used to frizz up so much, I used to use hairspray to keep it
Mhm.
keep it tamed down.
Mhm.
Did you know that it takes the average person 8 seconds to answer the phone? 8 seconds. Now, Bonnie, here's where I throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hate to do this to you,
That's
but
okay.
every time I call you, I'm like, I could run around the block 10 times until you
Until I
your
answer.
phone.
Yeah, I know. It's a pet peeve of some of my friends too, because it takes me a day or two for them to get a call
Oh,
back.
that's even worse. I'll text you or I'll call you and I'm like, then I don't hear from you.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be like drowning in my vehicle in a lake and I call Bonnie, and it's like ring and ring and ring and ring.
I'm not a huge talker on the phone.
I know. I figured that out already.
Yeah, I don't know.
I figured that out.
It's really hard, like when you have your cell phone nowadays and you're in the grocery store and
Mhm.
your hands are full and
Right.
somebody's calling you.
Well, that's why I wear AirPods, so I don't have to ever touch my phone or take it out of my pocket.
which means you are a great phone talker. You
I
like
love
to talk
talking
on
the
that phone.
I can
Yeah.
talk on the phone for hours.
It doesn't bother you to
Nope.
be bothered or
Nope. I
not-
would literally live when I
Yeah.
was a child. I begged my parents, please get me my own phone number in my room.
Did they do it?
So yeah, they
for
got
you?
me my own phone and my own phone number, and I would just stay locked in my room for hours.
Yeah.
And I would just talk on the phone nonstop.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make prank phone calls
All
from
the
it
time.
and get in trouble?
All the time. But back then they didn't have caller ID. So you could call anybody. You know,
Oh.
one of the biggest pranks I thought it's kind of corny now, but you just call somebody up and you say, "Hi, I'm taking a survey. Want to know if your refrigerator's running?"
Yeah.
And they say, "Yes, it is." And then I'd say, like, "All right, go catch it."
Yeah. Did you call radio stations too when you were a kid?
All the time.
Yeah, I
I
would
used to try to
consider
win
you
stuff.
would. I did too. Yeah. I
Yep.
always tried to win, to be the 10th caller and
Yes,
such.
be caller number 10 right now, 550 WRMF, or whatever the station was.
I only won one time. I won a ABBA record. It was a 45
Did
record.
you?
Yeah. I think it was
Wow.
Take a Chance on Me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are radio station prize hoards.
Yeah.
They will call all the time to win stuff for free. That's all they do. That they have no other life.
That's why you hear their name winning quite often,
All
because
the
they're
time.
trying quite often too, and the odds are in their favor.
Well, that's why now stations have disclaimers that say you can only win a prize once every 30 days.
Yep, once
Because
per
they wanna-
household
yeah,
even.
they want to give everybody else a fair shot.
Yes.
Did you know that according to a survey from Men's Health, only 4% of guys across the world own a reptile? 4% of guys only own a reptile.
You would think with the men that would be a little bit bigger percentage.
Yeah, just 4%.
Huh.
Like reptiles, meaning snakes, lizards,
Yes.
things like that.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that a study shows that compared to their mothers, women today have much bigger engagement rings? Much bigger engagement rings. Now, I can attest to this. At the bridal show this past Sunday, I saw some engagement rings on some of these girls' fingers.
Yeah.
That were, let me put my sunglasses on. These bad boys were so big and so shiny
Yeah.
and so bright. I'm like, what the heck are you thinking?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how much they spent on one of those.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars on a ring.
Yeah. They do look pretty. Yeah.
Did you know that the average person washes their hands 3 times a day? And I beg to differ with that now because of COVID.
Many more.
Many more
Yeah.
than that.
And then if you work in the massage service like I do, it's triple fold.
Right.
Because you're washing your hands after
Right.
every single massage too.
Now, here's an interesting stat, Bonnie. The word rotator. Think about that for a minute. Okay. What do you think about when you think of rotator in regards to the way the word is written?
I think of a rotator cuff right away.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
The 7-letter English word rotator can be read both forwards and backwards.
Oh, you're right. And
Think
still
about that.
read rotator, right?
It reads rotator.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what you call one of those. What were those? A palindrome.
A palindrome. Well, I don't know what that's called.
Palindrome. We had a guy call in and tell us
Yeah.
the other day what one of those was. I think he
Right.
said something like I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Palindrome. I think it started with a P.
And here's a very interesting stat about McDonald's. Did you know that 1/3 of McDonald's profits comes from the sale of Happy Meals? So 1/3 of the money that McDonald's makes on a daily basis comes from the sale of Happy Meals.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Right?
Yep. Oh, that word is palindrome.
Is it
a
palindrome?
Word, phrase, or sequence that reads the same backwards as forward.
Okay. All right. And lastly, did you know that a study found that a man and a woman who aren't getting along stare at each other in the eyes, often to gauge each other's reactions?
Do you guys do that?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I mean, why would they did a study on that too?
They did
actually,
a study on that. They did a study on
It's
that.
more like with he and I, we just kind of like, we disengaged and we turned the other way or avoid each other and turn on the TV.
Yeah.
Rather than staring in the eyes.
6:45 news time once again. Let's head to the news desk. All brought to you this time by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie.
Thanks, Evan. And the surge in patients who caught COVID over the holidays is happening now.
We are reaching a plateau. So we're cautiously optimistic, or at least I am, in looking at these numbers that we are looking at holiday rush of patients.
From across the country and around the world are coming to Florida, not on vacation, but solely to get their COVID-19 vaccine.
Vaccine tourism is not permitted. It is abhorrent. People should not be flying here to get a vaccine and flying out.
Florida does not have a residency requirement, and Division of Emergency Management Director Jared Moskowitz says these tourists are simply taking advantage. Miami developer wants to bring a waterfront resort hotel with 49 slips on the St. Lucie River to downtown. Developer Ted Wetzel had proposed Marina Resort, a 37-room hotel and marina at 404 Northwest Flagler Avenue. It could be built as soon as next year. The 3-story hotel would be built on top of 2 levels of parking, creating a 5-story structure, according to site plans submitted to the city. The development would include a pool, grilling area, and balconies facing the Roosevelt Bridge, according to the plans. An abandoned office building known as Sailfish Capital Center and a parking lot currently occupy the property. Construction tentatively could begin by the end of the year, but the project first needs rezoning and approval of its plans by both the local planning agency and the city commission. The next LPA meeting is February 11. An Orlando waitress is being called a hero for reaching out to a young boy who was in danger.
It didn't look right to Flaviani Carvalho, an 11-year-old boy, bruised, cut, sitting at one of her tables, not eating. Secretly, she flashed him a written note asking if he was okay. He said he was not.
No, I just thought that I need to do something. I could not see the boy going away without any help.
The waitress called police, and the detectives who interviewed the boy heard disturbing stories that bordered on torture. Tim Wilson arrested, charged with abuse. The boy's mother charged with neglect. The boy and his younger sister now in state care. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Dustin Diamond, the former Saved by the Bell star, who was convicted of stabbing a man during a barroom brawl in Port Washington, Wisconsin, diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Diamond, age 44, was taken to a hospital in Florida days after he started to feel unwell, NBC News reports. He is now awaiting test results to learn the location and nature of the cancer. Diamond became famous for playing Screech on the popular 1990s television show about a group of California high school students. And lastly, the dire wolves in Game of Thrones were based on real-life dire wolves that died out 10,000 years ago. Now researchers think they know why they went extinct. New DNA tests found their genes weren't similar enough to mate with other types of wolves. So the wolves we have today took over. Pretty interesting. Got smashed. A 1952 Topps purchased for $5.2 million. The buyer was Rob Go, an actor and entrepreneur who owns the Dope Clothing and CBD line. The previous record was set in 2020 when somebody paid $3.93 million for an autographed 2009 Mike Trout draft prospects card. On and #1 comic book from 1940 sold for $2.2 million, and that's the most anyone's ever paid for a Batman comic. News time is 6:49. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
6:51 the time right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we're not finding any accidents to report on this Friday morning. All looking well on the roads, including Martin County and St. Lucie County. That includes our major highways. Everything's clear. There's your latest look at traffic. It's partly cloudy, 51 in Stewart, and Sterling Heights, Michigan this morning, 38. Here's our weekend weather at WPTV.
Happy Friday, sunshines. Waking up this morning to temperatures in the low 40s, partly cloudy skies, and a few spotty showers for that morning drive. This afternoon, highs in the low 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight, cloudy conditions and some isolated showers into the night. Temperatures down in the low 50s. Some morning showers possible tomorrow with lots of sunshine during the day. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. Sunday morning starting off the day in the low 40s, highs in the mid 60s, mainly dry conditions through the weekend. I'm WPTV Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
6:56 right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie coming up in the 8 o'clock hour today. Public Information Officer Sergeant Brian Bosio is going to be in studio with us. We're going to talk a little bit about the boat show that's going on and the do's and the don'ts and, parking situation, traffic situation. It's going to be a great weekend here in Stewart, Bonnie.
I know all of the boats for sale, and I would like to get out there and check out the small watercraft too, like the jet skis that might be for sale. A lot of fishing gear. We have a lot of fishing in the area, vendors, food. It's going to be the cool thing to do this weekend.
I used to own a 17-foot bow rider.
Wow.
Years ago, before I moved up to Port St. Lucie, had it for about a year, and fun. It definitely was a lot of fun.
I am considering, after I Toyota. Oh, I hope Gary doesn't hear this.
All right, go ahead.
I'm considering purchasing a boat afterward.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. I like being out on the water. I love the smell of it.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
If you buy the boat, who's going to be the captain?
I would have to have him be the captain.
You would be the first mate.
He's my captain.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be the first mate.
You'd be the first mate.
And
now, do you have any concept of boating, just out of curiosity?
I water skied before. I've done water skiing in the
I'm
past.
talking about, do you have any concept of boating
as
far as you put the boat, putting the boat in the water, where you're allowed to go?
Yeah.
What the different signs mean in the channels and things like that.
I would probably have to take a course on it first and, do things right that way and, learn the waterways first of all.
I went online and just kind of read up on it. Idea what that is.
And, you got to know your waterways. We used to boat on a chain of lakes in Lower Michigan. It was called Coldwater.
Okay.
And we'd go out to the chain of lakes and there was like this sandbar that would come up.
Right.
But you couldn't see this sandbar, beyond the horizon. So
Right.
if you didn't know that lake, you could be going full speed with that boat and then boom. So it's, it's good. You have to really learn your area.
Another thing you have to be careful too of when you're boating is high tide and low tide. That's very important because in low tide, you can run your boat aground and then you're just going to be SOL.
Yeah. You'll be sitting there for a while.
You'll
right?
be sitting there for a great while unless you have something called sea tow. Sea tow will get your boat out. Definitely, you can give them a call. Make sure you have a marine radio too in your boat, along with life vests. Those are all things that are kind of mandatory to have.
Oh yeah, don't go without the life jacket.
But you can find all that out at the Stewart Boat Show. I'm sure they'll have lots of rules and regulations they can explain to you there. Stick and stay, don't go away. Hour number 2 of the Friday edition of the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie, just around the corner right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. Fredo and the Shy Guys, the Get Up and Go Show band. We're going to let them play on and take us all the way into the news.
Coming to you live from Seward, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the Get Up and Go Show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
7:07 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. It's the Friday edition.
I've never heard you talk like that before.
Well, I don't know. I've been talking like this way for the last year on this radio station.
Oh, God, I'm bored already.
How can you possibly be bored of this radio show?
Radio people are the coolest.
Yeah, I know we're the coolest. That's the sweet sounds of Fredo and the Shy Guys. It's the Get Up and Go Show band for a Friday morning. They're live here in studio as they are each and every week. If you're watching us on Facebook, you're wondering where the band is. Well, they're just over there in the other room.
They're
Socially
pretty cool.
distanced.
They're pretty cool too, aren't they?
Good group of guys. 5 guys in there. Got a drummer, bass player, stand-up bass player, keyboard player, little guitar, and little bass going on
Reminds
there.
me of that nice Charlie Brown music we
Yeah.
hear in Charlie Brown sometimes.
Definitely so, without a doubt.
And Peanuts.
Yeah, definitely so, without a doubt. So right now it's time for birthdays and anniversaries. And of course, as always, at this time, we do birthdays, anniversaries back in the day. And, oh, Bonnie, what do you have for me this morning?
I know a famous quarterback is celebrating today.
Really?
We have Drew Brees
Oh, wow. Mr. Drew Brees.
from the New Orleans Saints.
Probably the shortest quarterback in the NFL.
I'm not sure.
He's vertically challenged.
Well, I hope he's going to do well this Sunday when New Orleans takes on Tampa Bay.
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, like a showdown between
The
he
GOAT
and
versus the GOAT.
Tom Brady for I think the first time that they met one another in this rivalry for the NFC Championship game this coming Sunday.
Going to be a good one. All eyes are going to be on the game. When is the game, Bonnie?
It's Sunday. Let me find out.
Is it 1 o'clock
game
or 4
tide.
o'clock?
I think it was 3:40.
7 o'clock.
3:40 in the
All right.
afternoon.
All right, very good. Very good. We'll
It's going
see
to be
who
the
wins
one,
that one.
the one to watch.
Normally we do birthdays in the heavens last, but this one I feel kind of needs to be at the top of the list. If he would have been alive, he would be, let me see here, 80, 90, 100. Yeah, he'd be pretty old.
Who is
Dr.
this?
Martin Luther King Jr. celebrating a birthday in the heavens.
Oh, yeah.
Taken from us way too soon in 1968. He was born in 1929.
Mm-hmm.
So how old would that make him, Bonnie? Let me get my calculator.
Oh, in
out here.
1929?
Yeah, I need a calculator for that one. My brain's not functioning.
Gosh,
fully
he'd be
this
about 91 or 92.
2020. No, it's 20. Today's 2021. 2021.
Maybe about
minus
92.
1929 equals. He'd be 92 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, right. You are, Skywalker.
Yeah.
92 years old. Wow, that's amazing.
I just used that with my dad's age because my dad was born in 1931.
Wow.
And he would be, my dad would be like 90 today.
Wow.
Yeah, if he was still
Unbelievable.
alive.
My dad would be 100 years old.
Yeah, wow.
Literally 100 years old. Be 101 this May.
Uh-huh.
May 31st, my father's birthday.
Yep.
Let's see here. Ben Shapiro, 37 years old today. That's the conservative political commentator, founder, and the editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire, and also radio talk show host. Man, this Knicks guy is celebrating his 40th birthday. The big 4-0, 40 years old. He's my favorite musical artist. You know who that is, Bonnie? I talk about him all the time.
Kenny G?
No, I love me some Pitbull.
Yeah.
Man, I am like a Pitbull junkie.
Do you got any little musical excerpt from Pitbull? Anything we can play?
I'm not going to do that because then we'll get kicked off social media.
Oh.
For copyrights and this and that. So I don't want to do that and get kicked off all social media.
Mature Pitbull, since he is 40 now.
Well,
do you have any mature tunes that you can play?
No, anything you play by him or any artist that has copyrights, you just can't play.
We can't do it.
We'll get kicked off YouTube and Facebook.
Oh,
just
boy.
like that.
Oh, we don't want to do that.
No, but Pitbull's 40 years old today. Unbelievable. You ever get a chance to go see him in concert? I did with with Gavin. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Howie Day, 40 years old today. That's the Australian one-hit wonder of the 2004 smash Collide.
Yep. You and I collide. I remember playing that
Yep.
one back in the day.
And of course, Bonnie, one of your favorite guys, Drew Brees, 42 years old today.
42.
Nolan Saints.
Just think he and Tom Brady must be around 42 or 43.
Yep.
And that'll be an exciting game when they face each other this coming Sunday.
Mhm.
I hope no Tom Brady fans get upset with me, but I'm going to be rooting for Drew Sunday. I'm hoping.
Shane McMahon is 51 years old today. Do you have any idea who Shane McMahon is?
Shane McMahon.
Shane
Don't.
McMahon. He is the son of the billionaire Vince McMahon. He is the genius behind the WWE, the World Wrestling Entertainment, formerly known as the World Wrestling Federation, who I used to work for as a ring announcer back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Did I see a story on Matthew McConaughey this morning?
Yes, you did.
Having to do with the WWE
Yes, you did. He's thinking about joining the WWE
as a fighter?
as a wrestler.
As a wrestler?
As a wrestler, yes.
Wait,
Yep.
wait a minute. Now he played the stripper in that one movie.
Yep. You're reading correctly, Bonnie.
He would have to put on some pounds as a wrestler, don't you think?
Well,
I mean, I'm sure he could do
wrestlers
it.
come in different sizes and shapes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
could he do it?
Well,
I think try out new things, right?
stay tuned for details. That's all I'm going to say. Rob Lowe's more talented brother, Chad Lowe, is 53 years old today. Lisa of Cult Jam is either 54 or 55. We're not sure, but some of her hits, I Wonder If I Take You Home, Head to Toe, All Cried Out, Let the Beat Hit 'Em, and Lost in Emotion.
Mhm.
That was about all she had.
That Lost in Emotion was a pretty good one.
Sure was.
Yep.
Mario Van Peebles, 64 years old today. That's the New York City director who got to play Malcolm X in Ali. Lloyd Bridges celebrating a birthday in the heavens, along with the lead singer of Leonard Skinner. Bonnie, you know who that is?
Who was the lead singer of Leonard Skinner?
Ronnie Van
Zant, right?
Yes.
I kind of thought so. Yep.
Yep. So some of their classic hits, two of the biggest hits, Freebird and Sweet Home, Alabama.
I remember my brother had the record album of Leonard Skinner, and I was just a
Mhm.
little kid. And the way it was spelled, I would pronounce it Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Lynyrd Skynyrd. I
Yeah.
love it. Lynyrd Skynyrd. Wow.
That's the way it looked. Bring out that Lionel Skynyrd, Lynyrd
Yeah, excuse
Skynyrd
me,
album.
sir. Can you play me some Lynyrd Skynyrd, please? Sure, no problem.
That's the way I always read it.
Yes. Free a bird. Today is National Bagel Day. So if it's
Ooh,
National
yeah.
Bagel Day, where's Dr. John Millay at?
I know, right?
He usually brings us bagels when he's
Good
here.
ones too.
Yes.
There's a new bagel place over at Winn-Dixie on Port St. Lucie Boulevard.
I see. Do you see the guy out there holding the sign all the time?
I have.
The yellow sign. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a guy out there. They're pimping that guy out to hold the sign. He's probably making $10 an hour.
Is it Bagel Joe's or something?
I'm not sure
I
of the
know.
name of the place.
Something like that. I got to go in there and
They
check
just
it
got a
out.
free shameless plug from us.
They did.
Yes, they did.
But it's a new place to go get some bagels, I
If
guess.
you want more advertising, just give us a call here, 220-9788, and we'll tell you all about our advertising packages.
Yes, we do.
Definitely so.
Yes, we do.
54 years ago today, in 1967, the Green Bay Packers won the first Super Bowl, beating the Kansas City Chiefs 35-10.
Yeah.
Green Bay's quarterback Bart Starr was the game's MVP. Bonnie, you know how much the tickets cost back in the day, 54 years ago?
$13, I think it was.
$10.
10, okay.
$10 to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
$10. Hi, you're on the air with Evan and Bonnie. Good morning. Who's this?
You were really a ring announcer for the wrestling?
Yeah, dude. I used to ring announce for back then it was the WWF, World Wrestling Federation, and I used to ring announce for them from 1988 through 1993.
Really?
Yes.
Did you ever get hit with a chair?
Through 93 or 95. I think it was 95. And true story. This is true story. My wife, I was doing a show at the West Palm Beach Auditorium, which is now known as the Jehovah Dome, otherwise known as the Leaky Teepee back in the day. So my wife brought the kids, and at the time the kids were 3, or they were 4 and 6 or 5 and 7. I don't remember how old they were, but she brought them to the show. And one of the biggest stars back in the day was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep. I remember him.
Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, the glass breaks, and wait a minute, hold on. Let me see if I can find something real quick here. Darn it, I thought I had it here. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, the glass breaks, and he comes out, and he, you know how he always comes out, and he, he's all chicken and jiving and all that, and then he gets up to the top rope, and he does his salute with the middle finger to everybody.
That's not nice.
Well, that's just his. That's his persona.
Yeah,
that's his persona.
I suppose.
It's done in a good way. It's not done in a bad way.
All right.
It's done in a good way. So I'm looking over, and everybody is standing up, and they're all saluting him back. That's the Stone Cold Steve Austin salute, is the middle finger. So then I glance over the other way, and here's my 3 kids on the chair saluting Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The same way?
The same way, along with all the other kids in the arena. I look at my wife, and I give her the look from hell, and she just throws her arms up in the air, and she goes, "Oh, well. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?"
You got to tell them not to carry it with them to school and do that on the teachers or anything. Just do it here, kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my.
So they didn't ever choreograph you into hitting them with a chair or I saw one time this little old referee that was in the ring, and the wrestler was giving him a hard time, and that little old man picked the wrestler up and body slammed him. And the wrestler got up and looked at the referee and the crowd was going crazy.
After I got out of the business of traveling, because I didn't want to travel no more, I started doing some local shows here in the Fort Pierce area at the it's now the Fenn Center, but before it was the
on Virginia Avenue.
Yeah,
what was it called before?
Pierce, I can't remember what that place was called.
It now is the Fenn Center. You're right, but it was something.
They built the Fenn Center, but just west of the Fenn Center, they had a building there that we used to run wrestling shows in, a local organization. It was the FWA, the Florida Wrestling Association. So I used to ring announce local shows there. So with that said, I was ring announcing a show, and this wrestler comes out named Rusty Brooks. Now he's, mind you, almost 400 pounds. And he tells me, he says, "Listen, I'm going to come at you, and I'm going to hit you, and you're going to fall on the ground. Now, I want you to fall on the ground and lay perpendicular to the turnbuckle."
You should have said, "Oh, no."
And I'm like,
"You're not going to
okay."
fake that.
And he goes, "I'm going to splash you with a Vader bomb. Now, I want you to lay with your hands at your sides, and I promise you, you will not feel a thing." And
you'll be knocked out.
Yeah, well, I look at him. I'm like, "Yeah, right, Rusty. Tell me about it." He goes, "I promise you." He says, "Here's $100. If I hurt you, you keep the $100. I'm like, "Okay, no problem." So we get in the ring. I announce him. I say his name, and he didn't like the way I ring announce his name. So he clocks me, and I fall on the ground. Now, of course, it's all the punches are pulled in. Oh, I lay down. It's all theatrics. So I lay down on the ground. I fall down like I'm hurt. And there's video of this somewhere out there. I know there is. And he goes off the top rope, and he Vader bombs me.
Wow.
I closed my eyes, and I just prayed. I prayed. Jeff, I never felt him hit me.
Oh, wow.
I never felt him hit me. The way he landed, his knees were on one side of my torso and his hands on the other. That's what broke the fall. And all I felt was his big fat belly hit my stomach, but it barely touched my stomach.
That's what hurt you the most.
But I started flopping around like a fish out of water, selling my injury, and then they had to stretcher me out of the ring.
Remember, they used to have boxing over here too in Port St. Lucie.
Fort Pierce
at the,
Civic Center. That's what it was called.
or the
That's what, yeah, you're right. That's
Yeah.
the Civic Center.
It's a
That's, I
Civic
remember
Center.
that up there.
Yes.
but
yeah.
PSL
That
had
was,
boxing at the community center.
I've
a while ago.
I've ring announced pro boxing here locally.
I used to go to cover that and interview some of the boxers
Yep,
for a radio station.
I was the ring announcer for that. I did.
Bonnie, you were interviewing them in their boxers?
Yes, I interviewed some boxers in their boxer
interviewed
shorts
boxers
too.
in their boxers.
I did.
Wow, Bonnie.
I did.
Jeez.
Yeah, we would.
Oh my.
They used to hang out
He
at
knows
that.
that.
They would hang out at that. There was a restaurant promoting it. If you go on St. Lucie West Boulevard
Wow.
across the turnpike, it was called V's. It's a Italian restaurant
Wow.
where you go. It's a little bit past I-95 when you go out St. Lucie West, and it's around that roundabout.
Mhm.
And the wrestlers, not the wrestlers, but the boxers would have like a pre-dinner there, and that's where they would go at first when they came to town.
Yeah, they probably did the
And-
weigh in there. That was
Yeah.
it was Johnny V's.
Johnny V's.
Yeah, Johnny V. I know Johnny V very, very well. Johnny V was a big sponsor
That was it.
of the of those boxing shows. They did the weigh-ins at Johnny V's.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah.
we would
I gotta
go-
call Johnny V. I haven't talked to him. Jeez.
Is that restaurant still open?
No,
over
Johnny
there?
V's is not around
Oh
anymore. no.
man, that was a nice place to go to, and
Yeah.
do the interviews
know,
and. Yep.
It used to tickle me when you went to a wrestling match, and if you watched the little old ladies around the ringside,
Mhm.
oh my God, they got upset.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they got ticked
Swinging-
off.
And I don't think they were paid to do it. I mean, they'd
No.
be swinging their purses at
No.
them. They'd be, you
People-
know, doing, I
hey,
mean,
man,
you know,
people-
I'm talking about 80, 90-year-old women.
Yeah, people
You know,
got
like,
very emotionally invested in that stuff, big
Yeah.
time.
oh,
anyway.
Lord, I'm sitting there going, oh, you got to realize that's not, oh, no, don't.
Yeah, that's some real
Don't
stuff.
run up to one of those guys and hit them. You imagine what they could do to you if they wanted to?
Oh yeah.
Jeff, go and knock yourself out now.
It's 7:24. It's news time. Jeff, thanks for your call. Have a great day. 7:24 news time. Let's go to the news desk. Here's Bonnie this morning.
Thank you, Evan. About 250,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were distributed to Florida counties statewide this week. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the story.
COVID-19 vaccines remain on high demand in the community and between county health departments, all vying for some of the 250,000 doses distributed this week by the state.
I know it's hard right now. Everybody wants to get this as fast as possible. We're doing everything we can.
Representative Toby Overdorf says a few counties this week didn't get any COVID-19 vaccines, including Martin County, leaving some county leaders wondering why.
The county administrator reached out to me over the weekend to let me know that Martin County was going to have a zero allocation. And of course, they were concerned.
Overdorf said the first round of distribution focused on population, the second on how efficiently counties were distributing the vaccine, adding to the confusion.
Martin County did a great job, and they were able to get vaccines out very quickly.
Not wanting to lose momentum, Overdorf said it took reaching out and working with the State Department of Emergency Management to secure at least a small amount of new doses.
We were able to secure an additional at least 500 this time around, and we've been assured that we are going to be getting more doses as this proceeds forward.
The Martin County Health Department was also surprised to be left out this week, but said in a statement, ultimately, we are pleased to be receiving vaccine this week and are prepared to quickly distribute it, and are grateful for the support of our lawmakers and community partners. Megan McRoberts, WPTV, News Channel 5.
The annual Stewart Boat Show is set to begin on Friday, today, and run throughout the weekend. And WPTV's Derek Lowe has more.
At this marina, under the Roosevelt Bridge,
And we've been working on it for a couple weeks now.
crewmen and women
Want it in mint condition.
We're just making sure everything looks really nice.
getting her all fixed up, are cleaning and getting ready for the Stewart Boat Show. And precautions for COVID are in place.
They kind of set a pseudo appointment, if you will, when to come down here, so that we don't end up with 100 people standing here waiting to see the boat.
Cody Holcomb is the captain of the Runaway, a boat he's looking to sell.
We can keep people spread out and keep people just calmly coming through.
Only one family is allowed on each vessel at a time. Organizers say they're skeptical of a reduced crowd.
Over the 3 days, we've had anywhere from 18,000 to 20,000 people.
With COVID this year, we're really not sure.
Michelle Miller says masks will be required when not social distancing. Hand sanitizer stations will be at every booth.
We have no seminars this year. We had to eliminate our seminars from the plan because we didn't want to put people in small tents.
Miller says despite new differences, she's grateful the show can go on.
Because our show is predominantly outdoors, we're able to go ahead and continue almost, as a regular show.
We need some positivity in the world. And I think nothing better than get everybody outside, hanging out around the marine industry.
In Stewart, I'm Derek Lowe.
Wheels are rolling in, structural parts are being delivered, and the skeleton of a $6.5 million mega yacht lift is beginning to take shape at the port of Fort Pierce. Director of Fort Pierce Shipyard has been bringing in 6 trucks a day from Miami with about wheels and other pieces needed for the massive lift. About 25 shipments have arrived so far, with more expected, according to Justin Beard, Fort Pierce marketing manager. Once assembled, the lift will weigh more than 700 tons with a hauling capacity of 1,500 tons. It will stand 85 feet tall, towering 20 feet higher than the South Bridge, and be 73 feet wide and 105 feet long. The lift will allow Director to hoist yachts as large as 250 feet out of the water and into the shipyard for extensive renovations and repair. By spring of 2022, Director hopes to have up to 70 employees in Fort Pierce, too, a combination of new jobs and in-house hires from its Dania Beach shipyard. The surge in patients who caught COVID over the holidays is happening now.
Cautiously optimistic, or at least I am, in looking at these numbers that we are looking at that post-holiday rush of patients.
Dr. Timothy Hendricks at Advent Health says most hospitalizations start 4 to 6 weeks after a patient has contracted COVID. He says that for now, they have enough room to accommodate the influx. Lastly, a congressman from Florida wants rioters to face harsher punishments. While in Volusia County yesterday, Republican Michael Waltz announced that he's putting together a bill that would increase the penalties for violent crimes committed during a protest. Waltz says there should be no tolerance for the kind of violence we saw at the Capitol last week, and he's calling for a bipartisan investigation. And continues to cause problems for the Miami Heat. Last night, for the second straight game, they had just 8 players available, due mostly to COVID restrictions. And for the second straight game, they lost to the 76ers in Philadelphia, 125-108. News time, it's 7:29. Weather and traffic together will be next.
$7:30 the time right now, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. It's all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, we do have an accident. It's on the Turnpike southbound in Hobe Sound. This is at mile marker 122. Once again, Turnpike southbound. We're just seeing a new accident right there. Other areas, including St. Lucie County, the roads are looking clear at the moment. And there's your latest look at traffic. And it's 46 in Port St. Lucie, and in Todos Santos, Mexico, 55 this morning. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Happy Friday, sunshines. Waking up this morning to temperatures in the low 40s, partly cloudy skies, and a few spotty showers for that morning drive. This afternoon, highs in the low 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight, cloudy conditions and some isolated showers into the night. Temperatures down in the low 50s. Some morning showers possible tomorrow with lots of sunshine during the day. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. Sunday morning starting off the day in the low 40s, highs in the mid 60s. Mainly dry conditions through the weekend.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
It is 7:34 on the Get Up and Go show. It's the Friday edition. It's time for Stupid News.
And now it's time for Stupid News.
It's so stupid and awesome.
Where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you stupid?
Well, there's a lot of stupid news. We're going to go up to Vero Beach this morning. All right, Bonnie, Vero Beach. We're going to travel up the road about an hour or so.
Something recently happened up there,
Yeah.
stupid?
Yeah, cops recently showed up at a McDonald's in Vero Beach, Florida, around 4 o'clock in the morning after somebody reported a suspicious vehicle. It turned out a 28-year-old guy had parked his truck in the drive-through lane, and he passed out.
Yikes.
Now, when they found him, he was still alcohol on his breath. He could barely walk and failed a sobriety test. He eventually admitted he drank 6 to 8 beers at a bonfire and had a bunch of Rum Runner tiki drinks. He was hungry, so he thought he'd drive to McDonald's to get something to eat. They were closed, so he just parked the car right there and went to bed.
Fall asleep.
Yeah, fell asleep.
Yeah.
He's facing charges for drunk driving and driving on a suspended license.
He's in some trouble now.
Yeah.
Yep.
To say the least.
Well, it already was trouble when he
Yeah.
decided to head to McDonald's driving after he was
Yep.
drinking.
Here's something more of a local story. A dancer at the adult venue Body Talk Sports Bar right here in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
I know where that is.
How do you know where that is?
because I live here. Hello. I live here.
Okay, just want to make sure you didn't have to go get Gary one night, pick him up. He was there passing those dollar bills out. A dancer at the adult venue Body Talk Sports Bar in Port St. Lucie got locked up after allegations of fighting other dancers and swinging a broom, according to the police.
Really, when they were on stage, like
Okay.
in the stage act?
The sheriff's office encountered the dancer, a 29-year-old woman, whose dancer name is Strawberry.
Oh, that's
Okay.
precious.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
How about vanilla or chocolate? Anyway, they encountered the 29-year-old dancer named Strawberry at about 2. How the heck is a name Strawberry precious
Well,
on a
maybe
dancer?
she's probably a
Jeez.
ginger,
You have
and
a
she
soft
wanted to call
heart.
herself Strawberry.
All right. 29. The police encountered 29-year-old dancer Strawberry at about 2:30 in the morning at Body Talk. They're located on US 1 just north of Port St. Lucie Boulevard. Strawberry was being held down by security officers and was quoted as saying, quote, "They're trying to kill me." A security officer reported Strawberry lost her purse, and when it was turned in, it had just a few dollars in it. Strawberry went into the dressing room and began fighting all the other dancers, accusing them of stealing her money. Reportedly was ordered to leave and taken out. Reportedly stayed at the property and began fighting the other dancers with the broom handle as they left and was eventually arrested.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do they say? Strawberry fields forever. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's the story of
well,
Strawberry.
she was angry. She lost all her dollars.
Yeah, she lost her strawberries, so to speak. Well, you've heard of butt dialing, right, Bonnie? Have you ever butt dialed anybody?
No,
I have.
I don't even know what butt dialing is.
You don't know what butt dialing is? Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I do not.
Wow, what rock are you living under?
I don't know. I never.
All right, butt dialing is a phrase that's coined is when you accidentally dial pockets in your phone. Your phone's in your pocket or your back pocket. Have you ever had your phone in your back pocket before? You've carried your phone in your back pocket, I'm sure.
Well, I don't do that, but I can see it happening with someone.
Okay.
So that's
so
never
you
happened.
accidentally call somebody. It's called
Yeah.
butt dialing. Well, it's was a fairly costly butt dial because 2 suspected burglars have been arrested after accidentally butt dialing the police themselves. Vero Beach police, going back to Vero Beach.
Well,
I
a
like
lot
the
of-
fact we're staying in
A
Florida
lot of
today.
things happening right here locally.
Yeah. Vero Beach police confirmed they arrested a 49-year-old and a 42-year-old woman after receiving a call from one of them who appeared to have unwittingly butt dialed them.
Butt to butt and cheek to cheek.
There you go. Officers said they listened into the call as the 2 carried out the burglary and could even hear their colleagues arrive to make the arrests. They found them as their phones were traced when they accidentally called 911, police said. I think we have just arrested the world's unluckiest burglars.
Yeah. Well, they'll learn not to keep their phones in their back pocket anymore, of course.
So note to self, Bonnie, if you are going on a burglary and you're going to rob somebody, don't have your phone in your pocket.
Maybe best not to have your phone at all because they can
Yeah.
trace it so well now.
Yeah.
And you're going to get caught.
Exactly. There's a guy who just shared a story on Reddit about how he and his wife had their first child at 11:05 p.m. on New Year's Eve, December 31st. But when he was filling out the information for the birth certificate, he put that his son was born at 12:05 a.m. January 1st. Now you're probably wondering, why the heck did he do that? And he wrote, quote, 2020 was a crappy year. I'm glad it's finally over, and I don't want my son to be associated with 2020. So that's why he wrote 12:05 January 1st on the birth certificate.
Wow.
Now, this is unfair to my son, he said, because he only lived in 2020 for just 1 hour. He wound up getting into a shouting with the nurse and then the doctor, and they took the form away and wouldn't let him fill it out. And then his wife got mad at him as well for making a scene at that moment in their lives. Now, for what it's worth, my first thought was the guy's an idiot, tax-wise. The dream is to have a kid born on the 31st. You get the huge deduction when you file your taxes.
Yeah. Wow.
What an idiot.
Yeah. Here I thought maybe he was wanting to do that because he was in some sort of contest where his son would be the first born in 2021.
No.
but he just doesn't want him associated being born in 2020. And
what a complete idiot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A landlord pitched a tent in her tenant's backyard the other day and started living there after sending a text to the family saying Nikki and William had been living in the rented home in Green Bay, Wisconsin, with their 3 kids for a year when the landlord told them she'd be setting up camp in the backyard.
Huh.
Now, mind you, this lady owns the house and people are renting it. And she's going to go pitch a tent and live in the tent. Now, the reason the landlord did this is because the tenants were behind in rent for months and the landlord wanted her money. Police were called and kicked the landlord off the property with the tent, but they could not do. Wait, the police were called and attempted to kick the landlord off the property with the tent, but they could not do so because the landlord owned the property.
Well, she owns the property.
Right.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, police could not kick the tenants out either.
Because it's cold right now in Green Bay.
No, it's not a matter of cold. You can't just legally kick tenants out. You have to go through a legal process of eviction.
And plus it's cold.
Right.
So.
Well, the heck with the cold. But police told the landlord that they had to go through the court system. So the landlord went one step further and had a chain link fence installed around the entire property when the tenants left. She locked them out of the property, which was completely legal. She found a way to do it. So the tenants left to go to work. She called the fence company, put up the chain link fence around her property, and they couldn't get in.
Yeah.
That's legal.
In a sense, I say good for her. I feel for these landlords when, tenants aren't paying and then you don't have your legality to kick them out. And,
right.
I feel for the landlords sometimes in those situations because, how are they going to, pay their bills and pay their mortgages if their tenants aren't paying?
Right.
But then I know there are different laws for that for people like living in Wisconsin, people living up north when the weather's cold.
Right.
I don't know if it's legal just to place people out in the cold like that either.
Well,
I don't know the laws completely, but
unfortunately, I'm a little cold-hearted when it comes to something like that because if you're a tenant and I own the building, I have a mortgage I have to pay.
Exactly.
You have to pay.
That's what I said.
You have to pay the rent, regardless of whether it's cold or warm. And if you don't pay the rent, you are not going to live in my house.
But see, I don't know if laws are different in the South where we have a warmer climate, if people have to get out earlier as opposed to if you're in cold conditions up north.
Not sure.
Where if there's a time limit involved or.
But I'm gonna give you an assignment. I'm gonna give you a homework assignment. I want you to find a lawyer in Wisconsin and call their offices and ask them, can a landlord evict a tenant in 0-degree weather?
Yeah, that's a good question we should ask.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
I'm wondering.
But I can guarantee one thing, the landlord would definitely be cold-hearted, without a doubt. 6:45 right now on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news, all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie at the news desk with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. About 250,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were distributed to Florida counties statewide this week, and WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the story.
COVID-19 vaccines remain on high demand in the community and between county health departments, all vying for some of the 250,000 doses distributed this week by the state.
I know it's hard right now. Everybody wants to get this as fast as possible. We're doing everything we can.
Representative Toby Overdorf says a few counties this week didn't get any COVID-19 vaccines, including Martin County, leaving some county leaders wondering why.
The county administrator reached out to me over the weekend to let me know that Martin County was going to have a 0 allocation. And of course, they were concerned.
Overdorf said the first round of distribution focused on population, the second on how efficiently counties were distributing the vaccine, adding to the confusion.
Martin County did a great job, and they were able to get vaccines out very quickly.
Not wanting to lose momentum, Overdorf said it took reaching out and working with the State Department of Emergency Management to secure at least a small amount of new doses.
We were able to secure an additional at least 500 this time around. and we've been assured that we are going to be getting more doses as this proceeds forward.
The Martin County Health Department was also surprised to be left out this week, but said in a statement, ultimately, we are pleased to be receiving vaccine this week and are prepared to quickly distribute it, and are grateful for the support of our lawmakers and community partners. Megan McRoberts, WPTV.
Annual Stewart Boat Show is set to begin today, and WPTV's Derek Lowe has more.
Vaccine tourism.
At this marina, under the Roosevelt Bridge.
And we've been working on it for a couple weeks now.
Crewmen and women
want it in mint condition.
We're just making sure everything looks really nice.
We're getting her all fixed up.
Are cleaning and getting ready for the Stewart Boat Show. And precautions for COVID are in place.
They kind of set a pseudo appointment, if you will, when to come down here, so that we don't end up with 100 people standing here waiting to see the boat.
Cody Holcomb is the captain of the Runaway, a boat he's looking to sell.
We can keep people spread out and keep people just calmly coming through.
Only one family is allowed on each vessel at a time. Organizers say they're skeptical of a reduced crowd.
Over the 3 days, we had anywhere from 18,000 to 20,000 people. With COVID this year, we're really not sure.
Michelle Miller says masks will be required when not social distancing. Hand sanitizer stations will be at every booth.
We have no seminars this year. We had to eliminate our seminars from the plan because we didn't want to put people in small tents.
Miller says despite new differences, she's grateful the show can go on.
Because our show is predominantly outdoors, we're able to go ahead and continue almost, as a regular show.
We need some positivity in the world. And I think nothing better than get everybody outside, hanging out around the marine industry.
In Stewart, I'm Derek Lowe.
An Orlando waitress is being called a hero for reaching out to a young boy who was in danger.
It didn't look right to Flaviani Carvalho, an 11-year-old boy, bruised, cut, sitting at one of her tables, not eating. Secretly, she flashed him a written note asking if he was okay. He said he was not.
No, I just thought that I need to do something. I could not see the boy going away without any help.
The waitress called police, and the detectives who interviewed the boy heard disturbing stories that bordered on torture. Tim Wilson arrested, charged with neglect. The boy and his younger sister now in state. Rory O'Neill.
A Miami developer wants to bring a waterfront resort hotel with 49 slips on the St. Lucie River to downtown. Developer Ted Witzel has proposed Sportfish Marina Resort, a 37-room hotel and marina on Flagler Avenue. It could be built as soon as next year. The 3-story hotel would be built on top of 2 levels of parking, creating a 5-story structure according to site plans submitted to the city. The development would include a pool, grilling area, and balconies facing the Roosevelt Bridge, according to the plans. An abandoned office building known as Sailfish Capital Center and a parking lot currently occupy the property. Construction tentatively could begin by the end of the year, but the project first needs rezoning and approval of by both the local planning agency and the city commission. The next LPA meeting is set for February 11. And lastly, Dustin Diamond, the former Saved by the Bell star who was convicted of stabbing a man in Port Washington, Wisconsin, has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Diamond, age 44, was taken to a hospital in Florida days after he started to feel unwell. He is now awaiting test results to learn the location and nature of the cancer. Urban Meyer is coming. The Jaguars hiring him to be their next head coach. Meyer has won 3 national college championships, 2 of them with the University of Florida, but has never coached in the NFL. News time at 7:51. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
7:52 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, on the Turnpike southbound in Hope Sound at mile marker 122, we do see an accident. And other areas on our roadways looking fine, including US 1 all the way from Stewart on up to Fort Pierce. US 1 traveling quite nicely. There's your latest look at traffic. We have a cool 47 in Port St. Lucie. It's 31 in Sterling, Virginia. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Happy Friday, sunshines. Waking up this morning to temperatures in the low 40s, partly cloudy skies, and a few spotty showers for that morning drive. This afternoon, highs in the low 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight, cloudy conditions and some isolated showers into the night. Temperatures down in the low 50s. Some morning showers possible tomorrow with lots of sunshine during the day. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. Sunday morning starting off the day in the low 40s, highs in the mid 60s, mainly dry conditions through the weekend.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
7:58 on the Get Up and Go show. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Public Information Officer Brian Bosio is going to be here. We're going to be talking about the Stewart Boat Show as far as parking situations, some of the rules, regulations, what to do, what not to do, what to be on, sorts of things like that. Before we get up to the news, I have to wish from Jennifer. She wants to wish her husband of 35 years, Gary, a happy anniversary, Bonnie. 35 years. How the hell did he tolerate her for 30, or vice versa? How the hell did she tolerate him for 35 years?
You just get used to one another,
wow.
I suppose.
That's a long time. Man.
That's good and solid.
I guess. Solid as a rock. Kind of like, remember that song by Ashford and Simpson, Solid as a Rock?
I do. And that happens here in Florida, not in Hollywood. Married 35 years.
35 years. Wow. That's like eternity. Some people don't live that long.
It's nice.
Well, yeah, it's nice. It's nice, and I wish them well, and I'll say mazel tov to both of them.
Just think it won't be too long before you're saying that to Rachel, right?
I know. I'm like on 20 or 21. I have no idea.
You're
I lost
getting
track.
Closer and closer, Evan.
I lose track. Rachel's the numbers girl. She keeps track of all that crap.
Okay.
Anyway, we're WSU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next. We're going to let Fredo and the Shy Guys and the Get Up and Go Show band take us into the news. So strike it up, boys. Turn the volume up.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
8:07 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. Uh-oh. You hear this music. Wonder who it could be. Let's see here. It's time for another episode with a gentleman who has the radio announcer bite going on inside of him. He loves being on radio. After the first time, he's like he was hooked.
Well, I got a face for radio. That's
for sure.
Yeah.
Sergeant Brian Bach. He's the public information officer from the Stuart Police Department. And, of course, we have to give him a round of applause for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. You wearing your headphones, by the way?
No, I'm not
No,
at
so
all.
you can't even hear anything.
No, hold on.
Put those things
He's
on.
sounding fine though, and
Yeah, I know.
we haven't seen you in a while, Brian.
I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah. He thinks he's a veteran now. Have him on 2 or 3 times on the show, and he thinks, he knows everything about radio.
Don't need no sticking headphones.
No. So how you doing today, Brian?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. How's the Stuart Police Department?
Stuart Police Department is doing well.
Mhm.
Keeping busy.
I had a lot of fun with you last year.
Yes, you did. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, Christmas time. I just want to have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
In fact, what did we let the listeners know exactly what the Stuart PD did on that Christmas Eve morning?
Sure. Well, beginning around Thanksgiving or beginning of November, the Stuart Police Department Community Relations Unit, that's the unit that I'm in charge of, we begin to collect toys, donations. We get 100 turkey dinners donated, all these different things. We call it our season of giving.
Mhm.
And one of our major events is a toy run that's held at Indian Motorcycles with Red Devil Cycles down in Hope Sound.
Okay.
We had to be 500-600 motorcycles show up, and they have to bring an unwrapped toy to participate. And so we literally get hundreds of toys. Not just through that event, but through other events and local venues, Vine and Barley, Sunset Bay Marina. They all have toy drives for us. So we have a whole bunch of toys. Excuse me. And what we do is we invite folks, we reach out to the schools to see who needs a little bit of help. And we're not just, reaching out to anybody. We were, targeting staff members and custodial staff and teachers and cafeteria staff and folks that may need a little bit of help with Christmas. They need some presents. So we basically for a month and a half, we just go out and help people the best that we can. And so many generous donors came in and gave Target gift cards and Amazon gift cards.
Wow.
It was amazing. I mean, I literally had voicemails every day that I came in, 2 or 3 people, how can I give? What can I give? We want to help. So we give away the toys leading up to Christmas. And then what happens is we still have a room full of toys. So what we traditionally do is we come in on Christmas Eve and we load up the cars, load up our patrol cars, and we go out to neighborhoods and basically play Santa. And it's really my favorite day of the year to work.
Yeah.
It's on a volunteer basis. So that is a recognized holiday with the city. So it's volunteer. So the officers that are out there are on their own time. They're doing it because they want to do it. And Chief Tuminelli shows up. And this year we were blessed with Evan Nine's presence.
Evan came out too.
That was the most, I have to tell you, I had tears in my eyes.
Oh,
it was
man.
emotional.
That's got to be rewarding.
Because we pull into this trailer park. What was the name of the trailer park?
Holiday Mobile Home Park.
Holiday Mobile Home Park. We pull in there,
Yeah.
and we pull in like it's the dead of silence. Okay, they're very quiet about it.
And people are looking. They're like, "Why are all these police cars here?"
Right.
You
And
don't
rightfully
have-
so.
You don't have lights on.
No, not yet.
Not
Not just yet.
No.
Not just yet. We pull in, and I remember pulling in, and somebody came outside on the left side as we were driving in, and Brian says, "Hey, do you have kids in there? Well, go wake them up, bring them outside." And then nobody's outside, and all of a sudden the lights go and the sirens start going, and you think it was like people thought there was a raid on the mobile home park. Literally, they thought it was a raid. So all of a sudden, people start coming out, and then the trunks start opening up, and the back doors start opening up of all the police vehicles, and all these presents start spewing out. And these kids are like,
Wow.
"Wow!"
Yeah, it's awesome.
Do you play Christmas music, not sirens?
No, we've done that in the past.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we've put them on the PA, some Christmas music.
Yeah.
We've done that in the past. This year we stuck with sirens.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing feeling seeing children
It
come
really
out
was cool.
that, you don't know what their Christmas is going to look
Yeah.
like, but they come out just smiles, parents so thankful.
Yeah.
It really is literally my favorite day of the year to work.
Very
It's
nice.
so rewarding, and I've never partook in something like that, and it was amazing. It was very heartwarming
Yeah.
to see the parents come out, because a lot of these parents, you see the way they live. You can, when they open their doors, you can see into their mobile homes that they're
Yeah.
living in.
Yeah.
And I happened to notice that I just saw mattresses on the floor in the living room of one of them. And I'm like, wow, this is how people are living. And these families can't even afford to put a present, let alone even have a tree.
Yeah, there's been
for their
families
child.
known to not even be
Yeah.
able to get their kids food.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a bad situations.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
But-
but it felt good to do that.
I
Oh,
bet.
it's so awesome. I can't say enough about it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love doing that. You really are making a difference
Right.
with these families' Christmas, and it makes it all worth it. The work, and all the organizing and the 2 months of gathering all this stuff makes it all worth it.
It sounds
Just
like
to-
you had a lot of excess toys and
We
the
did.
gift cards, like you said, too, to cover a lot of kids.
We did. We actually, interesting enough, we did not have as many as we had in previous years, because we went to several neighborhoods in the previous years. This year, we had enough toys. We got cleaned out at
Yeah.
our first stop. So
Yeah,
we had a
literally,
lot,
literally.
but we gave everything out there, and
Yeah.
a lot of kids came out. It was great.
I bet some of the faces on the kids are just memories you never forget when
Absolutely.
the way
And-
they
and-
looked.
And the nice thing is having them interact with us and see, look, the police aren't all bad.
Yeah.
Look what.
There's another side.
Of course.
There's another side of the guys that catch the bad guys, and they're good guys, actually.
Yeah, you got to show that.
So, yeah.
It's important.
So fast forward to this weekend. There's a big event going on in Stewart here, Brian, and that's the boat show.
Can I just get back to the previous topic?
Give me $1.
Okay, here you go.
All right. You can go back now.
You have a website or something that you can post your outfit that you wore that day? Oh
Did he wear
dear.
Tell Bonnie.
Oh,
Do you have the picture in your phone still
Oh, I'd
to
have
show
to-
her?
A Santa Claus outfit?
no, it's not a
No.
Santa Claus.
It's
It
way
is
beyond.
the gaudiest, most obnoxious Christmas outfit I've ever
I
seen
bet
in
the
my
kids
life.
will never forget that
And
either.
I didn't have. Did I have the pants on too?
Yes.
I had the
Oh,
matching
yeah,
pants
yeah,
on. Yes,
yeah.
I did. Oh
Yes.
yeah, I was decked out.
Were you wearing a kilt?
No,
No.
Let me see.
no.
It's gotta be
You're a
That
little
was def-
chilly for a
No,
kilt.
a little chilly for a kilt. Yeah, you want to catch an updraft?
Yeah.
Come on, Brian. There you go.
Oh my goodness! Look at that
The
jacket.
matching pants, and your tie was flashing.
Yeah, the tie was flashing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is fun though.
yeah,
Oh, I bet the kids
There you
loved
go.
that.
yeah.
Like that looks like something a game show host would wear.
Oh,
or
it
something.
was something else. It was something else.
Yeah.
He dresses the part.
I did.
No doubt.
I had to. It was
Flashy.
so-
Did.
they were all in uniform, so I had to
Right.
I had the Christmas hat, the jacket, the pants. Gavin was with us too. Gavin came, and I wanted Gavin to experience this so
Yeah.
he would learn.
Yeah,
and
he was great.
understand.
He was a great help, and
Yeah.
he
Your
jumped right
daughter-
out there.
Your daughter was there too.
She was, yeah, and it's a great time. It really is a great time. So
It was amazing.
okay, we can get on to the boat show. I just had
Thank
to
you.
mention that. If you have anywhere you can post that or something, please do.
Yeah.
The audience will love it.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. Sure, throw the host under the bus. No problem.
No, you should put that on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
You got to
I-
show everybody that, Evan.
Yes.
I'm
It's-
surprised he hasn't posted the video yet on the Stewart PD's page. And speaking of which, you can go to the Stewart Police Department's Facebook page, and you can see a lot of pictures from that morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all there. They're all there, including myself in my outfit. Yes, for sure. So let's fast forward and talk about the big boat show coming up, Brian.
Yeah, boat show is here. They've actually been setting up all week. I'm sure people have seen that traffic is heavy on US 1. So, Dixie Highway, the boat show starts today, 10 a.m.
Now that drawbridge, that's closed, right? Am I correct?
Yes, it's closed.
That whole road is
to
closed.
vehicular traffic.
Okay.
The road is closed from Albany Avenue, which is downtown,
Okay.
all the way to Fern Street and Dixie Highway, which is where the deck restaurant is,
Okay.
and the entrance to the Harbor Ridge.
Okay.
So the roadways closed for the boat show, which, is an inconvenience for people, but we do have officers actually assigned to work the traffic lights
Okay.
on each side of the bridge to help move along the traffic. So we are working on the problem. We're doing the best that we can do.
Okay.
But they are going to be beginning the show today at 10 a.m. It goes until 5 p.m. and that's going to also be on Saturday and Sunday. I'm sorry, 10 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
6 p.m.
Like, say I'm coming to the boat show for the very first time. I get a little anxious about where I'm going. Where's the great place for parking?
Well, they have parking. Our Police Explorer program every year. There's a generous donor that allows them to use his property right there next to the boat show on the north side. I don't know what it costs. I want to say $10 a day, something close to that. And all the money goes to our Police Explorers, the kids.
Very nice.
Literally makes the program, that's our biggest fundraiser of the year, literally makes the program free for every kid. I'm talking about trips, training, all that stuff, equipment, uniforms free because of this fundraiser. So,
Really? Just this one fundraiser
yes,
alone?
they do other fundraisers,
Wow.
but this is the major fundraiser. So, if you want to have nice, convenient parking, I'm not trying to sell anybody, but it's the perfect location. It's right next to the boat show on the
So
north
it's a
end.
big open field.
It's an open lot.
Oh,
Yes.
it's an open lot.
Yep, you can't
And
miss it.
Can you put like 100 cars in there?
Oh, we put more than that.
So all right. So let's say you put 300 cars in there at $10 a car. That's $3,000 per day, and it goes to the Explorer program.
Goes to the Explorer program. yes.
That's a great thing. To do.
It is a great thing, and it's very convenient. Now, there's also parking for the boat show near the airport off of Flying Fortress Road, off of Monterey.
Okay.
You can park over there, and they will shuttle you to the boat show.
Okay. Very good.
So-
Free shuttle, or you got to pay?
I believe you need to pay for parking. It's $5.
Okay.
Over there.
No,
And
I'm talking about the shuttle. Is the shuttle?
Oh,
free?
yes.
Okay.
It goes with the cost of parking over there.
Okay.
So
All right.
take a shuttle from Monterey Road. They'll shuttle you to the boat show and back.
Okay.
That's an option. I'm sure some people are going to be parking downtown and walking over to the show. So
Okay. All right. Very good. There's going to be lots of food vendors, I'm sure. Right.
there is a food court. Yes.
Okay.
We've been working the boat show. Like I said, they've been setting up all week. So I've been out there quite a bit, and I
Okay.
get to look at a bunch of toys that I will never, ever, ever
I
be able to afford.
am right there with
Yeah.
you.
Mouth-watering.
Yeah, but it can't hurt to dream, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool stuff in there, and
Well, they say the happiest day of your life is when you buy a boat and when you get rid of the boat.
that's what they say.
That's what they say.
But there's a couple boats in there I don't think I'd want to get rid of.
I can attest to that because I used to own a 17-foot bow rider. Happiest day was when I bought it, kept it for a year, then started hardly using it, and then I got rid of it.
That's what happens, right? The novelty wore off. But, are they going to have new boats and used boats
Yes.
or new jet skis, used jet skis too?
I'm not 100%
wonder-
sure on the jet skis. I
Yeah?
took a look at those because I have a jet ski.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to buy a new one now, but that's not going to
I'll
get by
tell you what-
finance committee. I guarantee you that.
Brian,
Or
you can give
better
me
known as the
yours.
wife.
I can give you mine.
And then
Sure.
I'll find somebody to whatever I
I've
was
already
gonna
I've
say.
already proposed this to the finance committee at home, and it got declined. Yeah.
Yeah, the wife shot it down.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. Pretty much.
You're in the doghouse.
So yeah, they have new boats, used boats, equipment, all sorts of accessories.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's vendors, and they do have a food court, and
Okay.
it's every year. It's a big event. They do have to have a COVID plan this year, so I'm fairly certain.
I was gonna
that
ask you about
masks
that.
will be required, and
Yeah, I
they-
was going to
they-
ask you about the
hand
COVID plan.
sanitizing stations and things like that. So they have to comply with COVID precautions. So
Now, I wonder if, because of COVID, I wonder if they're going to be allowing people, because at boat shows, they let people go on these yachts and tour them
Ah.
and
Yeah.
things like that. I wonder if that's not going to happen this year. if they're going to let people on the vessels.
I bet you they will, just in a limited numbers, probably.
Right.
I mean, I'm just assuming this because, they're there to sell boats.
Yeah.
So who's going to buy a boat if they can't get on and take a good look at it?
I remember the first year I came down here, I was able to ride on a catamaran in back of, I think we took off in back of like Wahoo's.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And we did a live radio broadcast while we were zooming. We were cruising 60 or so, 70 miles per hour and back on the catamaran.
Oh, that's really cool.
It was cool.
Yeah,
we loved it. But yeah,
Wow.
an adventure like that would be a lot of fun.
So, Brian, do you know if there's a charge to get into the boat show?
Yeah,
and if so,
there
how
is.
much it is?
It is $13 for veterans, $15 for adults, $8 children, 12 and under. Infants
Okay.
are free.
And if you mention Brian Bazio's name, you pay double.
You pay double.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that is true.
For sure.
And there are no pets allowed. So that sometimes is
Oh.
a bone of contention when I've worked this in the past. that
What about
people bring it up.
service animals?
That you'd have to talk to about their policy.
Okay.
And, if it's a legitimate service animal,
Okay.
then I believe they will let them in, but I don't hold me to that
Okay. All right. Very good.
because, yeah.
Wait, will we have our famous bird on the bridge going to be overlooking the boat show?
I see Stuart all the time. I see him all. I'm sure he'll be looking over the boat.
I've
show,
seen
making
Stuart
sure
quite a
everything's
few
tight.
times going north. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Stuart. I've actually waved
Yeah.
and he's waved back.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. For
He's
sure.
enjoying his newfound fame.
Yes.
That's
yes.
for sure.
Hey, very, very quickly, because we're running out of time, let's talk about this new building that just got dropped right in our parking lot.
Yeah.
You know about
We're
that?
excited.
Yeah, I see it when I pull up. Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Looks like it's going to be a little restaurant.
Okay.
A small little.
But I
it's
mean,
the one that used to be over at Sailfish Circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a historical building.
It's
of
a
some sorts.
historical building.
Yeah.
Mark Breckbill from upstairs gave me a little history lesson the other day about that building. And what they're going to do is they're going to pour some concrete and anchor that bad boy down.
Okay.
And it's going to be a walk-up restaurant.
Isn't that cool?
A walk-up restaurant with all sorts of things.
Can you imagine?
What sort of food?
Bonnie?
Aiden, I was going to say root beer floats.
Okay.
He mentioned lobster rolls.
Lobster rolls.
Possibly.
Yeah, but they're not going to be opening for breakfast.
Philly cheesesteaks.
So I have a bone to pick with him about that.
Oh, wow. Okay, good.
Yeah. So that's going to be
Excellent.
opening up in the near future, right in our parking lot, because we couldn't understand. We saw a lot of digging going on, and they were digging this hole really deep. I'm like, okay, what are they going to bury here? Is it going to be like a time capsule or something? Are they going to put a truck down there, or what's what? And all of a sudden, we see the other morning we come to work, and they got the road closed off, and they're dropping a building in the hole. I'm like,
whole big building.
okay.
Now, does the restaurant have anything on the menu that will go towards your slim body laser spa thing that you're doing for losing inches? Because
I don't know.
We'll have to place an order in for that.
Who's the host of that show?
That's Dr. Tread.
Yeah, you
Dr.
better run the
Tread
menu.
Rissack.
Run the menu by him first,
Yes.
because I can't imagine.
Hey, listen, I've lost 5 inches.
You look fantastic.
I've
Absolutely.
lost 5 inches.
Yeah.
Since going to Slim Body, so it does.
But I hope
work.
that continues after they install the restaurant
Yeah,
over there.
that's the
all.
issue.
That's all I'm saying. It's very convenient.
That's the issue.
He can take like a day or two off of his diet.
There you go.
He did when I brought my country club eggs in this week.
Yeah, she brought a casserole in this
And-
week.
Oh, okay.
And then Dixie Cream Donuts the next day.
Oh,
And she
donuts.
just threw me into a sugar rush.
Yeah. Well, we celebrated Evan's anniversary week here this week. It
Yeah.
was a year.
This past
since he
Wednesday was 13
started.
years. 13 years.
13 years.
It was
Wow.
one. It was.
That's
I
1 year.
aged well.
Wow.
Yeah, 1 year I've been here. You've known me a year.
Wow. That has flown by.
I know. Tell me about it. 1 whole year.
Jeez.
And I'm still here.
I know. That's the most
They haven't
amazing
gotten
part.
rid of me yet. Bonnie hasn't divorced me yet.
No.
Not yet.
I
Wow.
would. I
Anyway,
would
it's been
move.
fun though.
Yeah.
It's been fun. It's been fun.
Been a fun ride.
Anyway,
So fun.
our special guest this segment has been the public information officer from the Stewart Police Department, Brian Bazio, and he'll be with us again. He's with us time to time, talking all things Stewart Police Department and all the great things that your department does.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And while I'll be out at the boat
appreciate it.
show, you come see me.
Yeah,
Say
come
hello, please.
Look for the guy that has the Boston accent. That's
yeah.
all I gotta say.
Yep. Can't miss me.
Just ask him where to park the car in the Harvard yard, or as Brian would say,
Park the car over there.
park the car over there in the Harvard yard. Brian, always a pleasure to have you with us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Folks,
Thank you.
we're going to take a short pause for the cause, and when we come back, Randy Siegel is going to be here with the Space Report. Don't go anywhere.
If you have a suggestion, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:29 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for our daily dose of space in another place with Randy Siegel. Happy Friday, Randy.
And a happy Friday to you, sir.
What's going on in outer days?
Well, let's go a quick history of what went on over the next 3 days in space history. In 1969, the Russians launched their Soyuz 5 spacecraft, which eventually met Soyuz 6, which was launched over the weekend as well, and they rendezvoused in space. NASA and the European Space Agency launched their Helio satellite to study the sun. With it, 2003, NASA launched STS-107. That was a spacecraft that did good work in orbit. However, it sustained damage when some of the tiles were hit by debris, and we ended up losing the astronauts during re-entry. The astronauts that we lost were David Brown, Laurel Clark, Michael Anderson, Ilan Ramon from Israel, Rick Husband, Kalpana Chawla, and Willie McCool. We certainly sorely miss those individuals. 2006, the Stardust spacecraft was launched, which brought back the first samples from the coma of a comet, and this one, Wild 2. Last year, the Chinese launched a web space as well as a new communications satellite, and launched a new communications satellite into orbit. Well, it's with a lot of sadness that we say that America lost one of its older astronauts. Dr. William Thornton passed away at old. Dr. Thornton spent 2 missions in space where we were able to learn a lot about what was going on. Dr. Thornton flew on STS-8 in 83 and STS-51 with Skylab in 1985. So he did a lot of work for NASA and for us back here on Earth, and we mourn his passing. Well, what's coming up in the next couple of days? We're going to have tomorrow the launch of an Electron rocket from the Bahia Peninsula. NASA will have a hot firing test of the Space Launch System on Saturday. And SpaceX, possible number 9 Mooncraft, which will take a hop very high in the sky in a suborbital flight. And then on Sunday, Launcher 1 from Virgin Galactic will hopefully launch a satellite into space. And on Sunday, SpaceX will do it again by launching a Falcon 9 rocket. This Falcon 9 that will be launched will place another Starlink cluster into orbit. Launch is currently scheduled for about 8:45 a.m. So we should be nicely. On board the International Space Station, Rubens started her day in the European Columbus Laboratory module, conducting a session of study. The investigation is exploring how an astronaut adapts to visually interpreting motion, orientation, and distance in weightlessness. They want to know whether astronauts can control vehicles on Earth or on another planet while they're in orbit. This remains to be seen. Victor Glover and Shannon Walker did eye scans and started their workout day, and Russians Sergei Rusakov and Sergei Kushevastikov did an exercise study seeking to maintain a crew member's fitness during long-term space missions.
We have learned that a spacewalk that was scheduled to take place during the next week apparently has been postponed. We don't have any reason for the postponement, but we'll try to stay on top of it during the weekend. NASA's InSight spacecraft on Mars that's attempting to drill into the surface of the red planet in order to monitor what's going on inside and listen for moonquakes has been unable to do so. And it appears that it's not the fault of NASA. The probe tries to dig in. However, because of the soil, there is no friction that is needed in order to help them drill down further. So as a result, they've been unable to do that experiment. They still may try during an extended mission. Yesterday, we saw the launch of Blue Origin and their New Shepard launch vehicle. At 12:17 p.m. yesterday, they launched their booster, which reached a peak altitude of over 61 miles into space. The first stage was able to land successfully back on a pad near where it was launched from. And the capsule containing a mannequin simulating an astronaut was also successfully lofted and came down by parachute. So once again, it puts Blue Origin in a position to be ready to fly astronauts in the next few months. As we said, Virgin Orbit has targeted Sunday for the launch during a 4-hour window that'll open at 1 p.m. our time. Colorado is pushing back on the new home for the U.S. Space Command. The Air Force has decided that the Space Command will go to Huntsville, Alabama, which is known as Rocket City. They are moving the Space Command from Colorado because they feel it'll be able to be manned much better than staying out there in Colorado. Politico, which is a organization, said if the Air Force chose Huntsville, in consultation with the White House, senior military commanders, and congressional defense committees, along with others. So it appears that's what will happen. One of the spacecrafts that'll be launched this year by Russia will be named the Yuri Gagarin. It's in honor of the 60th anniversary of his space flight that took him one orbit around the Earth. It's kind of hard to believe that we're already 60 years in to manned spaceflight. The Chinese are not just sitting around and waiting for things to happen. They continue to launch satellites into orbit, and they are getting ready for their first space station to take flight, along with their first cargo vehicle. So far, during all of the tests in China, everything is going along smoothly. On Monday, we hope to tell you about some successful launches and whatever else is going on above us and around us. So until then, have a great day, everybody.
That's Randy Siegel with the Space Report. He's on the program each and every weekday at 8:30 to give us the latest and greatest information with news that you can use pertaining to outer space. Time to head on over to Ellie's Downtown Deli, where, man, every time I just say the name, my mouth starts watering, Bonnie.
Yeah, and you might want to warm up today, too. Chef Mark has some hot bowls of soup waiting for you, hot, fresh sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
Today, too, of course, try their 4-cheese melt with bread of your choice. It's topped with honey mustard, provolone, cheddar, pepper jack, and Swiss cheese.
Mm-hmm.
It's accompanied by bacon, ham, and tomato, all pressed hot. served with your choice of a side. Chef Mark invites you to Kai Kai Farms to this coming Sunday, where they're having a farm-to-table dinner. So you want to go to kaikaifarms.com and purchase your tickets. This includes a 5-course dinner and complimentary wines to complement the dinners. All of the courses. The event's going to include the award-winning coffees this Sunday, live music, so they're going to have entertainment. It's this coming Sunday at Kai Kai Farms 5. And once again, to purchase tickets, that's at kaikaifarms.com. And Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stewart now has their patio back open, plus they're at 50% dining inside with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's also has full dinners available for takeout, plus their fabulous desserts as well. Call 772-781-6605 to order and pick up today. They're at 618 Southeast 6th Street, just off Colorado and Stewart. Call 772-781-6605. It's Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stewart.
Time for the Precious Metals Report, brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold opening up at $1,845.80 an ounce. And silver opening up at $25.16 an ounce. 841 news by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Let's go to the news desk. Here's Bonnie.
Thanks, Evan. And people from across the country and around the world are coming to Florida, not on vacation, but solely to get their COVID-19 vaccine.
Vaccine tourism is not permitted. It is abhorrent. People should not be flying here to get a vaccine and flying out.
Florida does not have a residency requirement, and Division of Emergency Management Director Jared Moskowitz says these tourists are simply taking advantage. President Trump's move to Palm Beach County is now less than a week away. WPTV's Matt Cessny has details.
And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw took the oath for a 5th time as sheriff after a convincing and unchallenged election. And no sooner is he back in charge, but he's now prepping for President Trump's arrival as a private citizen.
And I don't have this in writing yet. My guess is he's either going to be here late the 19th or early on the 20th.
When President Trump does arrive, Sheriff Bradshaw says protection will be at presidential levels, as it has been for 4 years here, at least until he is no longer president.
As noontime on the 20th hits and he's no longer the president, we're going to see a significant reduction, but not totally. That's why I say the footprint will be a little bit bigger than normal.
The post-presidency of Donald Trump in Palm Beach County will also be different from other former presidents.
It's in my lifetime or my career, I've certainly not seen anything like it.
Tim Miller is a former Secret Service agent who has protected presidents and now heads a security firm in West Palm Beach. And he says federal protection will also not go away and will be very visible.
What that means for the Secret Service is they're going to have to be game on. Remember that security, for the Secret Service is not about responding to a crisis. It's about not making that crisis happen.
In West Palm Beach, Matt Cessny, WPTV, News Channel 5.
U.S. officials say Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy has approved bringing in 21,000 National Guard members to Washington, D.C. to assist with security surrounding the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden. Army officials have been grappling with requests for assistance from a number of law enforcement agencies who will be providing security across the city and surrounding the U.S. Capitol. Officials said Thursday that in an ongoing discussions with law enforcement, it has been determined 21,000 Guard members should be enough. As of Thursday, there are roughly 7,000 Guard members in Washington, with thousands more on the way. Wheels are rolling in, structural parts are being delivered, and the skeleton of a $6.5 million mega yacht lift is beginning to take shape at the port of Fort Pierce. Director Fort Pierce Shipyard has been bringing in 6 trucks a day from Miami with about 20 of the 32 wheels and other pieces needed for the massive lift. About 25 shipments have arrived so far, with more expected, according to Justin Beard, director of Fort Pierce marketing manager. Once assembled, the lift will weigh more than 700 tons with a hauling capacity of 1,500 tons. The lift will allow Director to hoist yachts as large as 250 feet out of the water and into the shipyard for extensive renovations and repair. Looks like by spring of 2022, Director hopes to have up to 70 employees in Fort Pierce, a combination of new jobs and in-house hires from its Dania Beach shipyard. And lastly, where did that story go? Lastly, researchers in Indonesia found the oldest work of art ever discovered. It's a picture of a warthog drawn on a cave wall over 45,000 years ago. Wow. Don't forget to make your NFL picks for coming up. I'm excited. I hope that you're excited. For Saturday's games, tomorrow's games, we have Green Bay playing Los Angeles Rams. This game will be played at Green Bay. My pick for tomorrow is Green Bay. Why, of course. Buffalo plays Baltimore. That game time set to go at 5:15 tomorrow night. It's played at Buffalo, and I guess with my Bills friends in towns, I'm going to pick Buffalo for that game. And for Sunday's games, Kansas City and Cleveland play. I will be picking Kansas City. And then we have Tampa Bay set to take on New Orleans with, of course, Tom Brady meeting Drew Brees head-to-head for looking like the first time in these playoffs. And my pick for Sunday on that one will be New Orleans. But yeah, Lenny's Pick'em League. Don't forget to make those picks for the exciting games. Our news time is 8:46. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
$8:47 the time right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, we're not having any accidents to report on this Friday morning, so if you're heading out, the roads are looking clear for you right here. No accidents, no tie-ups. There's your latest look at traffic. It's a partly cloudy 51 in Palm City. In Niagara Falls, Canada, a partly cloudy 37. Here's our weekend update at WPTV.
Happy Friday, sunshines. Waking up this morning to temperatures in the low 40s, partly cloudy skies, and a few spotty showers for that morning drive. This afternoon, highs in the low 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight, cloudy conditions and some isolated showers into the night. Temperatures down in the low 50s. Some morning showers possible tomorrow with lots of sunshine during the day. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. Sunday morning starting off the day in the low 40s, highs in the mid 60s, mainly dry conditions through the weekend.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:51 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. And, of course, coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Priest and a Rabbi show with Father Christian and Rabbi Matthew Durbin, who has the best hair this side of the St. Lucie River. As always, we like to make people fully aware of that. And joining us now on our Zoom is Matthew Durbin, Rabbi Durbin, and Father Christian. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the show.
Morning. Good morning, Evan. It's so good to be here with you on this bright, shining 63-degree day in Stuart, Florida.
That's right. Stuart, Florida, as you say, Father Christian. And Rabbi Durbin, I wanted to ask you this morning, what is our Yiddish word of the day? We have to get that from you. It's kind of been a regular part of the show.
We're living in COVID. We're living in COVID times, obviously, and the ability for us to interact both physically with one another is a great challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So my Yiddish word of the day is, it is so wonderful to see Father Anderson's Punim.
What?
Punim.
Punim. Could you spell that for us, please?
Punim.
Punim.
Face.
His face.
His face.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Father Anderson's facial expression when you said that was literally priceless. And Father Anderson is still celebrating Christmas in his house as well.
Yeah, the cleaning lady doesn't come till Thursday, so we figured we might want to move the tree and throw him out to the curb until then, because it's going to just create so much underbrush. So we're going to wait till after Thursday. That's the only reason why. So,
all right. So our Yiddish word of the day is Punim. Write that down. Spell that for us again, Rabbi Durbin.
Punim. It's actually much easier to spell it in Hebrew, but Punim.
So your challenge today, Evan, if you choose to accept it, is to use Punim in the next 10 minutes before a priest and a rabbi during the rest of your radio show.
Oh, I use it all 3 hours of my show.
Oh, great. You were already, yeah. You are the Punim of WSTU.
I am the Punim King, as they say.
Yes. Yes.
All right, very good. And I see you guys. Tell us a little bit about your guest who's going to be on and what you guys are going to be talking about this morning.
Our guest is the very Reverend. See, I'm just the Reverend. I just get one adjective.
Okay.
He gets a double dose of adjectives. So he's the very Reverend Ian Markham. Also the Dr. Ian Markham. So he's got other titles too. I'm sure he's got an MBA, JD, and some other things. But anyways, he's the head honcho over the Virginia Theological Seminary. And we're going to talk about what the heck is going on with how do you form religious leaders right now with all of these wild things going on in our world, especially here in our country, and how has that affected the way you approach forming leaders like this beautiful man next to me, Rabbi Durbin, or me, the Beast. He's the beauty, I'm the Beast. How does the very Reverend Dr. Ian Markham
is that you
now in 2021?
Is that your new nickname, the Beast from the East?
Yeah, I'll take it.
I like that.
I'll go with it.
I like that. I don't want to ask what Rabbi Durbin's nickname is because gosh only knows, Father Christian, what you would come up with.
Yeah, we'll wait on that, but it'll involve Punim. I don't know for
sure. All right, folks, listen, make sure, and you definitely, on a serious note, you want to listen into Priest and a Rabbi. They will be on at around 9:06 this morning. Cutting edge radio, cutting edge entertainment, cutting edge topics. But it is very entertaining and it is very serious talk as well. We joke around a little bit, but all joking aside, it's a show you want to listen to because they cover some great topics on their program. Gentlemen, top of the morning to you, and we will speak to you on the flip side.
We'll see you on the flip side.
All right, we'll see you on the flip side.
And they always show great Punim. Don't they? Well, they do. Yes, they do.
We need a good Yiddish word of the day next week for Rabbi Durbin's hair. We're gonna have to talk about that one. So we'll figure it out. One thing, his hair is never verklempt. That's for sure.
No, he has a naturally curly.
He does. He's got the best hair going on. He really does.
Interesting. Very, very nice.
I mean,
was
maybe
very
we can make a
nice.
viral video about Rabbi Durbin's hair and put it on TikTok and it'll go viral.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anything is possible.
Mhm.
Anyway, well, Bonnie, it's been a great week so far.
Yeah.
Really has.
Anniversary week for Evan right here.
Yeah, definitely so. I've enjoyed it. 1 year in and probably another 15 more to go. I'm back to work for the Mets. Looks like we are going to have a spring training. Don't know if we're going to have fans in the stadium yet, though.
Oh, but we're hoping so.
I hope
and
so.
If no fans, are we going to be able to make one of those cardboard cutouts of ourselves and put ourselves in the stand with
Man,
that?
you know, I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, that might be like if anybody has any arts and crafts skills, maybe a good little business to start making little cardboard cutouts of the fans that want to see the Mets play this spring.
That would be very, very cool to do.
Yeah.
They did that up at Citi Field where they had the cardboard cutouts.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big success. A lot of people bought into that, and they actually had their smiling faces on television.
Yeah.
And it really looked cool. It looked like there were actually fans in the stadium.
And you had yours on what show was it? The Ellen DeGeneres show?
Well, I was on Ellen. I was on Kelly Clarkson. I was on quite a few shows as a virtual guest in the audience.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty cool.
What that was, they had a Zoom session where you zoom in, and then they have all these monitors in the audience, and your face is on the monitor.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're right there on the TV
You're
show.
right there.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I truly, truly enjoyed that. What's on tap for you this weekend? What are you going to do?
I can't decide if I should do the Stewart Boat Show now. The B&A flea market is possible.
Okay.
There is a flea market Okeechobee way out there on Highway 441.
Okay.
So maybe I'll hit all three. I don't know.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. Pick two that you really want to do, and we're going to figure out a way you're going to do it right now. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it.
Okay, maybe the
two.
Stewart Boat Show B&A flea market.
Okay. So I'm holding up a certain amount of fingers under the table. Okay. You know, you can't look.
Okay.
Because that's part of the
It's
of
a
the deal.
magic trick here. or
No, I'm
something?
holding up a certain amount of fingers under
I wish
the
it
table.
was magically you could get me to one of the events right now. I
Oh.
already want to be there.
So 2 fingers is for the B. What were the 2 places you chose?
Maybe B&A flea market,
Okay, 2 fingers is for B&A flea market, and 1 finger is for
the boat show.
the boat show. How many fingers do you think I'm holding up?
One finger.
1 finger. Okay, so however many fingers I'm holding up is what you have to do.
Okay.
Boom, there you go.
Oh, okay.
2 fingers. So you're going to the B&A flea market.
Could be. It could be.
There you go.
Plausibility.
Possibility.
Yep. I
'Cause
hope you have a good weekend planned too.
I'm just going to sit home and vegetate.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be back here Monday
Just
morning.
take it easy.
Martin Luther King Day. So we'll be celebrating the life of Martin Luther King right here on the Get Up and Go show. Folks, thanks so much for letting us be a part of your day. Always remember that you have good values on the inside. You won't want to look for validation on the outside. Always remember that. It's
That's
good,
right.
Good motto to live by. Bonnie, have a great weekend.
You
and
also.
Gary as well.
You too.
We will. WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next, and then the award-winning Priest and a Rabbi show right after this. Don't go anywhere.
priest, a rabbi, a priest, a rabbi, a priest, a rabbi.
The opinions you hear from on this show do not represent WSTU, since they probably regretted over allowing the show on the air in the first place. Nor do they represent Temple Beit Hayam or St. Mary's Episcopal Church, since they also wonder what the heck they did when they called these two men to lead their respective congregations. On that note, sit back, relax, grab your Bible or a Torah, and enjoy another episode of A Priest and a Rabbi.
Okay. All right. Producer Evan, I think we're super loud here. This sounds cacophonous. Okay, everyone. Welcome to A Priest and a Rabbi here. This is Father Christian, and next to me is the most handsome rabbi you've seen this side of the Jordan River. It is Rabbi Durbin from Temple Beit Hayam, and I am Father Christian from St. Mary's Episcopal Church here in Styria, Florida. Just to note that anything that we say does not represent our parishes today, because if they did, we'd probably be sent back home. But we are happy to be here with you and to talk to you about just the lovely world of religious formation right now in a wild times in our country and in our world. How do you form religious leaders that can really meet the needs? We're seeing needs from our communities that haven't been asked for in a very, very, very long time, probably since the early 19th century. So how do people like Rabbi Durbin and myself and around the whole, let's say, country respond to these needs of congregations that represent very, very different views that has led to violence, etc., at the very least, a lot of deep protests. So, Rabbi, first of all, I just want to say good morning, you handsome devil, or you, maybe that's not proper to say devil. So good morning, you handsome gentleman of the cloth. It's good
Father Anthony, it's fine by me. We Jews don't believe in the devil. So, in terms of that, sure. Interesting, given the conversation that you just said too, because I've given a lot of thought, especially, post-ordination. How do we as clergy, or even those entering into seminary, how do we get less jaded by the world and less exhausted? I mean, we're living in a very stressful and a very complicated and challenging world today that I think for many of us are in, what's the term? COVID fatigue. We're tired, right? We've been serving our communities literally 24/7. And how do we find for ourselves, the sacred space, the time to recharge and to really be present? I know when I was in rabbinical school, during my tenure, my colleagues and I would often ask through practical rabbinics or pastoral care, when do rabbis get that ability to recharge and relax? And I was quite shocked by the response given by one of my colleagues, which was the moment you take your last breath. Which I don't agree with. But, interesting to see from a seminary perspective how we're training future leaders to serve communities, to have the same energy and excitement and love and passion, and not be burdened by, the extenuating, challenges in our world, not to get us down.
Yeah, there was a term that was used all the time at the seminary I attended, Virginia Theological Seminary, where they always came back to this idea of self-care. And I will admit, many of us in my class thought it was a bunch of hogwash, and we would laugh at it and be like, why do they keep on hitting this over? I mean, do they think we need to be pampered? Like, just let's man up, woman up, and get out there and let's just do the hard work. I learned quickly, once I encountered many of the grenades you encounter in ministry that go off, that if you don't do self-care, man, you will burn out. And I can see why that stat, and we have a guest today who'll probably be able to talk to this, is that the big time when a lot of ministers tap out is after the third year. They get, they feel the call to God. They jump in. They want to be a rabbi. They want imam, be a priest, and they go in there. And for 3 years, they're like, "Yeah, screw this. I'm going back to selling, real estate. I make more money and work less hours, and I don't have people all attacking me all the time." So self-care is huge. It's huge. There's a reason why the Lord said you must take a Sabbath. That is a commandment, not a suggestion. That is law.
But it's so interesting because how often as clergy do we say and impress the need for self-care, but in practicality, we actually don't. For me personally, I try as best I can to, have that veil or to have some distance so that I am able, but easier said than done in terms of how do we actually provide it for ourselves.
No, that's right. So today we are going to get a person who's responsible for leading a big branch of all the leaders in the Episcopal Church and beyond the Episcopal Church. There's a lot of people who are beyond the Episcopal denomination who attend Virginia Theological Seminary. And we have the honor today, it was really cool, to get the very Reverend, not the Reverend, okay, the very Reverend Dr. Ian Markham, who is what they call the head cheese at Virginia Theological Seminary, and he's going to come on and start talking to us about the state of how do you form leaders to meet the needs of the day today. So it's such a different world than it was just 5 years ago. So I think I hear the door knocking. He's coming in. He just flew in on Zoom Airlines. Here he is, the very Reverend Dr. Ian Markham. Welcome to A Priest and a Rabbi, my friend.
It's lovely to be here, and that was one of the smoothest journeys I've ever made. Yes. So thank you for getting me in safely.
You didn't have to wear a mask.
Remarkable show. I did not. No.
No mask.
See my smile.
So welcome to the show. It's great to have you. I assume that you're zooming in from Alexandria?
From Virginia. My wife and I have a little weekend place we disappear off to. So I'm actually down near Madison, near Charlottesville.
Well, good for you. You're doing some good self-care.
Well, exactly. I was listening to the show.
Okay, so tell us, you have been, how long have you been running the show over at Virginia Theological Seminary?
So let me start by saying thank you. It's a great honor to be on the show. And yes, I was appointed in 2007. So whatever that is, 13 years.
14 years.
And it's been great fun. And yes, you're right. I became a very reverend, which incidentally, for the record, is I think one of the silliest things about these denominations, which insist that we're revered. It actually goes back to the 15th century, initially just as a nice title of esteem, respect sort of thing. And then of course, it gets more and more elaborate. You're to be revered. I'm very to be revered. A bishop, it's right to revere a bishop. And then if you are Michael Carey, the presiding bishop, he's most to be revered. I mean, this is just so stupid. It's a good reason not to be an Episcopalian. But that's the system.
So that started in the 15th century.
Yeah, basically.
So here we are. We've taken these orders to be these humble servants of Jesus Christ and be very selfless and not make it about ourselves. But yet our tradition says, yeah, but some of you are a little more reverent than others.
Exactly. I mean, indeed. And the excuse we have is others wanted to give us this designation. But I think some designations we probably should have turned down. Exactly. Silly, really.
So anyway, so you now have the title, and that's so now since you have the title and you run with the title, how do you feel about that title? Were you always seeking and looking to become a very revered person, or were you kind of just at one point just comfortable with being in just an unrevered laity person?
So I'll give you my very abridged journey of faith. I grew up in a crazy home as a kid in the Exclusive Brethren, which taught total separation from the world, was fundamentalists. The founder, John Nelson Darby, in the 19th century invented the concept of the rapture. And we had no TV, no radio. Nobody was allowed to come into my house. We were allowed to celebrate Christmas, Easter. We had big families. That was a big relief. So I had a crazy upbringing, rebelled against it in college. And then slowly refound my faith and became a professor of theology. That's what you do when you have a strange upbringing. You then become utterly preoccupied with the questions about faith and religion. Did the whole academic tenure, write books thing. Got a job at Hartford Seminary in Connecticut, which was a really interesting school, 1/3 Muslim, significant Jewish population in Hartford, a really interesting place. In 2001, I mean, you know, arrived in the summer. Guess what happened on September the 11th? Extraordinary season of my life and ministry, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was while I was there, finally, I responded to a tapping on my shoulder, which had been so persistent. I mean, ever since I was 13, which said, okay, you really ought to be a priest. And I said, I don't really want to be a priest. I don't fancy being a priest. I enjoy the life I've got now. I went through the entire process saying to every single discernment group, look, you need to know I'm making myself available because I feel I should. But if you turn around and say, no, we don't recognize a calling you, do you know, I'll be so pleased. I would just go off and carry on living my life.
Did you really say that? You were told that?
Oh, yeah. At every single stage, I said, I'm here because I feel I should be. I'm not here because I necessarily want to be. But I'm responding to, you know, in the end, call is a weird thing. For me, it's like a continual pressure on my life. And I remember Leslie, my wife, saying to me one day, look, Pansaki, just go and do it. And I said, but I don't want it. She said, do it. So I started the process, and at every single stage said, look, I'm here because I feel I should be. But I'm not here because this is the only thing I can imagine myself doing. When I was a kid, I wanted to be prime minister.
I can see that. I can see that for sure.
Thank you very much. But as I grew older, I realized that's not what God wanted me to do. So here I am, and it's a great privilege. It's been a blast, and I'm very grateful for every day.
Well, you're kind of like the prime minister of VTS, so you got that out of the deal.
Precisely. And VTS is an extraordinary place, and everybody who's listening to this show is cordially welcome to email me. And once we're post-COVID and everything else, we'll give them free accommodation on the campus, and they can hang out in our refectory, and they can have a pint in 1823. Yes, we are a tradition that imbibes.
So Rabbi, I don't know if you know this, but at the seminary I attended, it was Prime Minister Markham is the one who said, we need to have a pub on campus, if I remember this right. This is before my time. So on campus at Virginia Theological Seminary, there is a pub that you can go to. And I always thought it was genius. It was a little controversial, and still is a little controversial for some people. But you can go on campus, stay there, grab a beer. Students are the ones who are employed, so they can make a little money there. And I thought the beauty of it too was that we all know that ordained clergy can struggle sometimes with the bottle. And if some people are like, well, how could you do that? You're enabling people. But it's like that. The beauty of it is we all see each other. So if you all, as faculty, notice that, wow, Johnny's in the pub on a Wednesday night. He's had like 3 beers, and we see him there all the time. You guys can, because you guys are part of the formation process as